Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You are watching The Experiment. I'm your host, Joe Soro, and today we are going to be diving into the LA edition of The Experiment. Today was a fruitful day. It was the first, I'd say, start, not officially, of the 2026 LA Dodgers season with Dodger Fest. So, for those of you who don't know what that is, it is essentially a pep rally for the 2026 season where fans can come to the stadium and see all the Dodger players do interviews, maybe answer some questions, ask some questions, whatever it is. And I think it was around 4 hours of activity. Uh, I watched almost the entire 4 hours at home. It was a nice, kind of relaxed Saturday. Usually, Saturday mornings are work days for me because it's much easier to get around without traffic. But today was pretty lax as I can remember, and had a chance to see some of the new guys do some interviews. Obviously, some of the guys that are still kind of on that same high as we are in terms of the championship this last October, November. And we'll go into more detail on that because there was some information that we found out about activity in the World Baseball Classic, possibly certain players' usefulness, I'd say, during the season. So we'll get into that as well as we'll talk, just in general, the Dodgers, upcoming season on what they plan on doing, spring training, regular season, what they'll probably do in the playoffs, what they'll do at the deadline. We'll also talk about the deadline with the Lakers as well. There's already been a trade right now. I think it was the Kings sending Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis to Cleveland for D'Angelo Hunter. No, not D'Angelo Hunter. That's an old football friend of mine. DeAndre Hunter. I played with a D'Angelo Hunter. He got a full ride to Portland State, so I don't know why that old memory came into my head. But so Hunter to Sacramento for God knows what reason. I didn't see the particulars. I don't know if they got. I know there was a third team in there that got a couple of second round draft picks. We'll get into that in a minute. But we're gonna talk some shop here for both LA teams, and we'll mix in some things as well with the other sports. But if it opens up discussion, but what I want to get to here now is the Dodgers are. Right now, the Dodgers this offseason, in case some of you haven't been really up to date on it, or this is the first time you've been here and you're not up to date on it, the Dodgers plugged two major holes in their team. And as fruitful as the world thinks the Dodgers are, they actually were struggling with outfielders last year, almost all year. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that Teoscar Hernandez had a messed up groin the entire year. And if you remember, I watched every game, every televised spring training game, which was pretty much all of them except for one, when they had a split game on one of those days. And then, of course, I watched all 162 games as well as the playoffs. So if you all remember, the first month, and this also includes Tommy Tanks, that first month, Tommy was leading the league in home runs, I think the first 3 weeks. And he was well on his way to being an all-star. Teoscar was a RBI machine. I thought I was watching Manny Ramirez for a minute there that first month. And then both guys got injured almost at the same time. And they were really never right all the way through. Now, I will say this. Teoscar Hernandez does two things very, very well. Number one, his teammates love him. He is in a lot of ways the fuel for the machine. His uplifting, his seeds, his whatever. People over there love Teoscar, and a lot of the fans do as well. But I did sense a little bit of disdain with his outfielding issues, but a lot of that had to do with injury. Because I didn't see him do that last in 2024, 2025. I guess it came off like he was being lazy, but the more information we get is he was really trying to not get himself injured more. He was really, really trying to kind of reel himself in to not get hurt, almost kind of LeBroning it in a way, but for a reason, right? Well, actually, I should say LeBron does it for a reason as well because he's 80 years old. But I was not on board of trading him, although I did mention that Is it possible? But then as things kind of cleared up, I was like, they're not going to trade Teoscar. Teoscar is too valuable. And this is the other place where he's valuable. The guy is freaking clutch. Now, if you look at the NLDS, you guys know I'm on record saying that was Roki Sasaki's MVP. If they had an MVP for that particular series, he was the MVP, because if they didn't have one guy out of that bullpen, I don't know who the hell they would have went to. As good as Vesia was, he's not a closer. He's a good setup man. So Sasaki saved the Dodgers' ass in that series. But the other thing is, since I've watched that series since then, you could have probably given it to Teoscar as well. And Teoscar won the MVP of the NLDS the year before when they beat the Padres. So I don't know what it is about the NLDS, but Teoscar seems to love those 5-game series in the playoffs, and you cannot replace clutchness when it matters in this scenario. So you deal with the negative a little bit, and Teoscar seemed to always make up for his mistakes in that game in some way, whether he was throwing out Schneider at the plate in Game 3, or whether he's hitting a home run, or whether he's getting a clutch hit, or whether he's getting a clutch pop up that guys can tag up and go to home. He did all that. So again, Teoscar, looking forward to seeing him healthy, hopefully this year, all the way through. Tommy Tanks was interviewed by Kirsten. I always forget her last name. Kirsten Watson. I always want to say Kirsten Davis because I'm a big Sex and the City fan. But anyways, Kirsten Watson had asked, how he's feeling, what's going on. I think they're going to be cautious with that. And again, we got Hae-Sung Kim there in waiting. Banyas as well. So, and then of course we got Rojas. So I'm not too worried about Tommy Tanks not starting the season. Maybe 100%. Maybe he wants to get on the 15-day DL. Hell, maybe they might put him on the 60. We know Kike is going to be on the 60 because they said he needed a couple months to to fix his for his elbow to heal. And I didn't see Kike there, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe he's rehabbing. I don't know what, but I hope he's doing okay. But if Tommy Tanks isn't ready to start the season, this is where the Kyle Tucker signing becomes even more paramount. Okay, now you don't have to worry about the outfield. You don't have to worry about Tommy Tanks needing to go to the middle because you got to shift pies to left, and then Teoscar late in games can't be there, and you got to go put Call in there or whatever, Alex Call. So right now, by getting Kyle Tucker, you almost eliminate a lot of the headache from losing too much in that lineup, especially from the hitting standpoint and on the field, because now you have enough second basemen on this team. You're probably 3 guys deep. Hae-Sung Kim won the equivalent of the Gold Glove in Japan at second, so he's good if he's there. Rojas, y'all saw how good Rojas was at second last year, so we're not worried there. So if Tommy doesn't want to come back for a couple months, let's say, hell, I'd let him heal up 100%, make sure that ankle's good. We all saw what happened in 2024 when he was injured the first half of the 24 season. He came in the second half and in the playoffs and won himself an NLCS MVP and a title, and he was a big part of that too. Let's see here. I know you guys are starting to talk a little bit more basketball here. Let's see. So Giannis to Spurs, good move. It's good if he wants to win. It just depends on what they give up. Are they going to give up Castle? Are they going to give up Watson? Who are they going to give up? What kind of draft picks are they going to give up? I'd say that might be the ideal situation for him. But does he want to play in San Antonio? And here's the big one. I'm not trying to voodoo this in any way. I'd like to have him be a healthy player. Obviously, I'm trying to make sure that everyone knows that I'm here to I want everyone to be healthy, and I don't want anybody to turn into Ralph Sampson. But there is a health issue with Wemby from my perspective at this moment. There's too much of those little nicky-knack injuries that I've seen here the last couple of years. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. And he does everything right, guys. He does a lot of stretching type workouts, very similar to what a yoga type stuff like Kareem used to back in the day. But the difference between what Kareem was doing in 20 years in the NBA versus what Wembanyama does are completely different. Wembanyama runs like a guard. Wembanyama shoots like a guard. Kareem, all he had to do was the last half of his career, all he had to do was stroll over right behind Showtime. And if he's trailer and he gets the ball, cool. If not, they already scored. And then by the time he gets back, it's kind of one of those things. And then, of course, even when they weren't Showtiming it, they let him come slowly to the block, dribble, throw it down over there, and then let him do his little hook shot. It was not as, I guess, taxing as what Wembanyama has to do. Oh, Mr. Empire Jeff, listening in the Uber. So are you listening on your phone or are you listening from the Uber driver's radio? That's that. I want to know if that did it connect with the Bluetooth there, Jeff? Let us know. If I can, I like to wish the driver safe travels. Please make sure Jeff gets home okay. He's not usually, kind of got a weak constitution, man. You don't want to take too many chances with him. The lineup is unreal. The lineup is unreal. It is. I mean, I can't. I think you could probably guess how important these two transactions were this offseason, because if Edwin Diaz is on, and if Kyle Tucker continues to be a split king, which is, and we're saying king because he's already established a nickname, and coincidentally, we have another king in LA. We have Kim James, or self-proclaimed King James, of course, and then we have King Tuck. That's the nickname that I'm hearing now. So King Tuck, one of his main attributes, if not the main attributes, is this is a left-handed batter who doesn't have any issues with either pitcher, whether he's a lefty or whether he's a righty. And my initial feeling on his stance in the lineup, where he would be, is I thought Freddie Freeman, because of seniority, because of he's Freddie Freeman, I thought Freddie would be the third guy in the lineup to start the year. Of course, things will always adjust. And but it sounds like, according to what Doc said, Dave Roberts, is that they're thinking of putting him in 2 and 3. Now, I'm thinking initially, just based off history, I'm thinking they're probably going to want to go. I think he's going to have a chance with the current lineup. He's going to have a chance to go with the lefty right all the way through to the 9. Now, if Edman is there's a lot of talk that he'll probably be the 9th batter, right? Because you'll put Pages at 8. I mean, I guess you could switch those guys around. But if you want that left righty, you go Ohtani left, Mookie right, Tucker left, Will Smith right. Then you have Freddie Freeman left at the 5. And then you have Teoscar at 6. Then you have Muncy at 7, who's a left. Then you have Pages right. And then, of course, Tommy Tanks is a switch hitter. And if you have, let's say, Hae-Sung Kim start the season, it still sets up that same lineup of lefty, righty through the entire lineup. I would love to see that for a few weeks. I would love to see, because it more often than not, it doesn't always go that perfect, right? It's happened, but it's not consistent. So I'd like to see how that kind of turns out. I think it would be real interesting. But if Mookie is struggling to come out the gate, don't be surprised if you start seeing maybe a switch from Will Smith to the 2, and then drop Mookie to the 4. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess on that one. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if they'll move Tucker up and not deal with the righty-lefty thing. They'll just say, look, we want the 2 most disciplined, most effective guys in the first 2 spots that aren't dealing with. And I'm saying this in all, I'm not saying that Freddie and Mookie are old, but they are pretty seasoned, right? And you have Ohtani and you have Tucker that are kind of a little bit younger. And of course, I mean, I guess he's not that young, Ohtani, but Ohtani's different, right? I'm trying not to disrespect anybody here. So anyways, so that's kind of where we're at on that. Let me get the Tufts question here. I know we're going back and forth with basketball too. I watched Wemby's last game and he was being mugged and clawed all game, pulling his jersey, grabbed him like crazy. That's got to wear down. Felt sorry for him. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily. That's kind of how you're supposed. Look, basketball is a contact sport. Football is a collision sport. So Wembanyama's. I noticed this the last time the Lakers beat the Spurs when Wembanyama was playing. This isn't the time they lost when he wasn't playing, which was a shocker, right? It was. You could see he was kind of irritated, and I don't know where he goes with that either. I don't know where he goes with that either. I think at some point you got to get over it, right? And sorry, I'm talking to Jeff here. He was supposed to come on, but he's trying to set himself up in case he can't come on. So I'm just gonna kind of rag on him a little bit. There you go. Perfect. I just text him. So with that, I'm gonna have a drink. I don't know if you guys have a drink with you, but I got my little glass here with my ice, and I got some rum. I got 2 different types of rum. I'm gonna finish up my Captain Morgan. If anybody wants to have a drink, go ahead and pour. I like to have a little bit of a rum with some Pepsi or Coke, depending on what I have at the time, just to sweeten it up. Makes it taste good. It's kind of like the only drink I can. It's the only alcohol I can usually drink with food, even though I'm not drinking food now. But because I like to have, I don't know, I'm a thirsty eater. That's why. But again, to everyone that's listening all around the world, salute to you. And Jeff, get your ass over here. Hurry up and start freaking doing some stuff here. This is getting ridiculous now. Oh, anyways, so I got my ice. I got my 2 types of rum. We'll see how it goes. If Jeff gets in here at some point here, and I got to wait like my wife getting ready to go to a party, if we can just get on here and start yapping, maybe we'll be here for maybe an hour, maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll see how long it lasts. Let's kick some ice. Arnold, Batman and Robin. That's pretty good, Aaron. That's pretty good. I like, ice is it's probably one of the best puns of this particular time right now. You could say, I like ice. I like ice with my drinks. That doesn't mean anything. Sorry. Hold on. I gotta get this guy in here. Hold on. Where are you? What's going on here? Whoa, who is this? What is this?
I don't know who I am right now. So we go try to figure this. We go try to hold on. I'm configuring as I go.
So tell me. What were you doing today?
A whole lot.
Just throwing down or what?
Yeah. I left the house at like 9:30 this morning. I'm just getting home. It's been a long day. But a long day of extracurriculars. So you know how I got home?
Well, you took an Uber, so that means
let me tell you how I got this Uber, because Uber was on some shit tonight. So I was like, you know what? Uber, you on some shit. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order. What I did was Uber was on some shit. And so I ordered Uber Eats from the right next to where I was at. And then when the dude pulled up, like, hey, you delivering to me? Let me ride home with you. And I copped a ride with my food. I got it. And I'm a New York hustler, man. Like, I ain't gonna let Uber be on some shit.
Wait a minute. Hold on. It just registered. Hold on.
Yeah.
You ordered Uber Eats and you timed it so that you can go home with them?
Yeah, because the ride was like crazy.
How the hell did you connect with them like that? What'd you order?
Nah, come on, man. They fucked up the order. They fucked up the order though. Joe, there is a genocide on hot mustard in this country. I'm just trying to tell you this right now. You know what it is. When you order it, you either get honey mustard, you get everything but the hot mustard, right? And you want to only do it. So anyways, so what I did was I took this. I got a DC. I dumped half that out, filled it with Bacardi. This is going to be a hot mess. But what I'm trying to tell you is Uber and Lyft were a hot mess. The ride situation was fucked up. So I caught a ride with my chicken nuggets home. And I'm here now. So that's what it is. That's what it is. All right. Look. You ain't stopping me from going, and you ain't stopping me from getting back. Never have, never will.
Did you get the damn mustard like your mom did?
No. Oh yeah, my mom's did, but I don't got it. I don't.
Dude, okay, listen.
Hold on. Unlike most dudes on the internet, I don't live with my mother. I'm not in the basement, so I can't.
No, that's not what I'm
No, I know that. I know. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. So like, I wish I did. Tonight, I wish I lived with my mother because she took your recommendation. And she got
like a block away, isn't she?
She like a good mile, but
you jacked up, but you don't want to go.
I can't do that right now, man. I can't do that right now, bro. I'm barely like, I don't even know how I logged in. To be honest with you, I got like tapped the. Yeah, man. It was. Man, I caught a ride with my chicken nuggets and they fucked up my sauce, so I'm a little upset about that. But it's all good. It's all good. We're here now. We're here. What are we talking about?
I told you.
Real quick. The New York is going to be heavy in me tonight, and I apologize for that. But with the drunker I get, the more it comes out.
That's fine. I can hear it. Yeah.
It's going to be there tonight. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
What are we talking about?
So here, I'm going to catch everybody up in case this is the first time they heard this. We're hot mustard. Hot. Not mild. Hot. Not honey. Hot mustard people, okay? And it's got to be like good shit. It can't be some whack ass bullshit, right?
Good Lord, I fucked this ratio up. Good Lord,
it's okay. You'll get over it once you're really talking. Yeah. It'll go away. Anyway, so we love McDonald's hot mustard sauce. I can eat it by itself. Like I could be food to me, right? Yeah. But the problem is, you go over there, you have to eat their food to get it. I eat their food maybe 3-4 times a year because I
never eat McDonald's like ever.
It's the nuggets and the fries.
The breakfast. I rock with the breakfast. I do rock with the breakfast.
They have the best pancakes on the planet, which is why I never eat it there.
McGriddles are gangster as fuck. But yeah.
So whenever I'm there, the first thing I say, my wife goes over there because my kids like the nuggets too. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to McDonald's." Okay, good. Remember, you know what I want. And for the longest time, she'd bring back 4, and I'm like, "Fuck, you couldn't get 6."
Yeah. It's never enough.
So I went on this crusade online, and I mean, I scoured the fucking earth for this shit. And finally, I found something on Amazon, thank God, that has this specific hot mustard sauce, and it's the closest damn thing it could be. And I buy 2 at a time. That's how much I eat.
When we went out to dinner, you showed my mom ordered it. Ordered it.
She told me on the phone.
Like, Joe nailed it. She nailed it. But I haven't tried it myself.
It's good. It's not exact, but it's damn close.
Close. Where the fuck is my phone?
Now, here's the thing. This is why people think I'm nuts when I'm not.
You are nuts. You are nuts.
The story of where this really all kind of manifested was I was at my cousin's house in Arizona. Maybe you might see it if you get to spring training. So just to give you a heads up. So they hit us up while we were watching college football because they're big college football guys. And a family, and then I'm like, we're gonna get McDonald's. I'm like, really? That's what you did? Okay, cool, guys. Hot mustard sauce
never goes right.
Okay. They bought 10 20-piece nuggets. 200 fucking nuggets. Okay, and they bought hamburgers and fry. Like they bought like $200 worth of food for everybody because I have a big family. They get there, and I'm starving, by the way, and I'm excited. I can't wait to just put my finger in that shit and eat it. I get to the table, and I'm always respectful. I let everybody's kind of like do their thing, and then as soon as everybody disperses and they're sitting and eating, then I go over there, and I'm like,
where that?
It's a hot mustard sauce in my head because I can't. If I scream right now, everyone's gonna think, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why is he getting all pissed off about mustard sauce?
Everything but, right? Everything but.
And because I couldn't scream it out, I was getting more pissed. See, that's the problem, is if I can't let it out, I get more angry. I got to let that shit out. I'm a firecracker. I got to let the fucking thing explode. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, do I raise hell right now? Or do I just not eat? Either way, they're going to look at me like I'm fucking nuts. Right? So I said, fuck it. It's not my house. It's not my house. Obviously, my family knows who I am. But I'm like, I can't. And I just kind of calmly said, without just going nuts, is my favorite sauce isn't there. It's I like the hot mustard sauce. Otherwise, it just doesn't taste right for me.
The whole purpose. I said holy. The whole purpose of eating it is the hot mustard.
So that was the day, because I did try the honey and I did try the sweet and sour. Every fucking sauce they brought, it didn't work. I ate a couple. I was like, fuck this, I'm done.
No.
So, anyways, that's the story of the. Yeah, there you go. This is right here. There you go. That's the name of it. So, anyways, I got a really good stat for you, Jeff. I got a really good stat for you, and you can take this with you.
I'm gonna be really bad at math tonight. So, but I'm gonna
no. You don't gotta. I did all the math for you. Don't trip. I got you.
Oh, so, Lord, I don't know what
so I want you to pay attention to this stat today. I don't know why it clicked. It clicked for me to put it together. It didn't take that long. So I just thanks, Aaron. Again, I'm glad you're happy too. Aaron's our boy from.
What's up, Aaron?
Yeah.
What's up, Aaron?
Okay. So, salary cap. You're still getting a lot of shit about that, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I got some nice side pieces, shotguns, and ammo for this.
Wait, hold on. You got my logo. Hold on. What's on your shirt? What's on the top of that shirt? You got the Legends of Culture. Look at.
You didn't see that?
Look at. Shout out the Drip Show. That's Drip Show, but that's Legends of Culture. That's me, baby. That's Jeffrey, baby.
Yeah.
Man, you got the Legends of Culture. There we go. Okay,
sorry, I was leaning. Usually, I'm sitting like this.
I just looked up. I was like, I hit it with that. I hit that.
Yeah, he sent it over last week.
Yeah, like, what the?
Hold on. I'll give you. I'm gonna send my.
I don't know.
There we go. There we go. See, we got some sound bites.
I'm hoping I close the door and Lucky ain't outside impregnating something. But I guess
he's not neutered.
Oh hell no, no. That boy's got a blaze of glory.
So you're like Al Bundy, man. He ain't gonna neuter buck, right?
No. That boy.
Oh wait, you said he makes money, right?
Yeah.
Multiple. Hold on. I gotta do this again.
In the words of El Guapo, in a plethora of ways. Oh, good Lord.
D. Martin over here.
I fucked this up so bad.
Dude, what are you doing drinking alcohol with a straw?
So what happened was, on the halfway home, I was like, all right, I'm fucking thirsty, man. So I opened up the DC. I'm drinking the Coke. I get home and I had earlier I was drinking the rum, the Bacardi on the counter. So I just poured it in a cup and I was just like, because I drink Bacardi with diet, like, you know. So I poured it in here. I was like, but I guess I didn't realize how low the Coke was. I was like, oh, it's my fault.
So you've been doing what? You've been drinking Irish car bombs,
yeah, so
Cardis, Diet Cokes.
No, so at the bar I was at, when you leave, it's kind of worked into the deal. So when you leave, you got to do. They gave you one or two things. The other thing I ain't doing. So the other thing is that or Irish car bomb. So I did the Irish car bomb, and then I had I don't know how somehow I ended up with a Cadillac at the end of the night. So I did that, and I got up and I was like, yo, I've been at the house like 10 hours. I didn't like realize. I was like, yo, this was totally unintentional. The day started like so innocent. I had a vet visit with Lucky. I went out and I took Lucky to a couple bars and then so, you know, dropped him off, was with wifey and pops and went to another bar, linked up with them, went to another bar, and then came back with them, then shook to someone else. And then when I was coming, I got your I saw your notification. Which YouTube is weird, bro. Sometimes I don't get them all the time. So I got the notification, and that's why I say, you doing a show? You're like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So I got to get home, because if I don't get home, it's one of those things. If I don't get home by 10, I'm not getting home till 2. I was in that window, and I was like, I got to get home by 10. I got to get home by 10. Frank the Tank cannot come out today. So I'm like, all right. So I'm going, and I could not get the Uber to save my life. But Uber Eats was popping, so I jumped in with the nuggets. Dude was looking at me like, what, you fucking tripping, bro? I was like, hey, man, I'll tip you. Just let me ride with the nuggies.
There you go. Okay. Well, that's a new one. I'm going to have to try that one when I get
it works. I've done that like 3 times.
The greatest trip I had in New York ever was 2019. We went right after we took the red eye, my family and my kids. We took the red eye Christmas night. We opened presents in the morning, had our thing, family this, family that, eating. And then that night we went to the airport and we flew a red eye because we didn't want to lose a day in New York.
Flew overnight. Red eye in New York. Always.
Yeah, flew overnight. And then what was great is at that time, Uber wasn't as expensive too on top of it because it was just kind of getting to the point where it was standard procedure, right? I mean, it was standard before, but this was like at its peak. So we stayed at the hotel down in Manhattan, the same place we usually stay. And it was like having our own car service. I mean, it made life so freaking easy for 5 days being there, hanging out.
Yeah.
We went to the museums. We went to Central Park. We went to the Wax Museum. We did all this, all the cool, Statue of Liberty type stuff, and just hung out, ate good food, saw New York, saw the lights. It was awesome. Taught my kid how to work money. So, like an idiot, I deposited my cash before we got there, and we ended up going to places where they like cash. I was like, "Fuck, okay." So my kid, my oldest,
you gotta have cash.
Well, I didn't know. Everybody was like, "Oh, just do this." But I'm like, "Okay, cash is much easier." Okay, cool. My kid had cash from Christmas and shit, right? Said, "Okay, baby, I'm gonna ask you. We got to get to the bank, but we don't want to lose our time for this little event we're gonna go to. So I'm gonna borrow your money. I'm going to borrow $100 from you, and you're gonna learn the world of interest." I said, and she was just starting her numbers, right? So I said, "Okay, baby, I want you to pay attention to this. I know you're at the 10 number right now. You're not at 100 yet. So I'm going to kind of try to place this as much as I can so that you can understand." I go, "What's 10% of $10? She knew right away it was $1. I said, "Okay, you need to 10 times that and tell me what the number is." And then we went through this whole scenario where she finally figured out $100 is 10% because, she didn't go up that high at that time. So once she got that, I said, "Okay, good, baby. Thank you. Now I'm going to borrow $100 from you, and I'm going to pay, the streets call a VIG, but I'm going to call, it as interest." I said, "Interest is going to come with that. So you're going to lend me the $100. I'm going to use it for our trip. When we get back at the end of the day, I'm going to give you $100 plus $10. That's 10% interest on your money. Remember this for the future. When you become a hard money loan person and you need to go and shake somebody down, that's where your dad's here. I'll go shake it down for you. But now you know how money works, how the world works in terms of money." And that's the lesson I taught my kid in New York. And then the end of the trip was just, I remember I was looking at them flying back. They were looking at their iPad, well, not the iPads, but whatever kid thing that they were doing. And they were just like, we were on top of the world. One problem with that trip. One fucking problem. And I thought I was in the Twilight Zone. I think I've said this on the show before. It was the first time turbulence fucked me up.
Oh, man, that's been a few times for me.
This was the first time. Now, the last time it happened, I was on a puddle jumper from Atlanta to Chattanooga. And I said to that one, I was like, fuck. Like, I mean, when the fucker landed, I thought the wheels were going to fall off. He landed so hard. I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like, what the shit? What? Yeah. Right? So we're flying over Missouri because I remember looking at the monitor when I was watching DirecTV. And all of a sudden, he gets on the mic. "Oh, please put your seatbelts on. We're going to have it about 20 minutes. Okay. I've had turbulence forever. I've flown a million times. This one time over fucking Missouri, there was 30 minutes, or at least I thought it was 30 minutes of turbulence. And I'm talking about and it just kept going and going. And I swear to God, I was like Shatner in Twilight Zone. Just I swear to God, if the pilot had said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to land for about 20 minutes.
We're going to pause.
We're going to pause." Yeah. I would have said, "Thank you. Please stop. We're going to wait till tomorrow to come back." Yes. Get this, go down. I was so fucked up. I don't drink on planes, even though I have, but I'm not a drinker like that. I'm like this drinker. I go when I'm socializing. So I'm not going to take my brain won't comprehend anything, even if I'm fucked up in scenarios like that. I won't get drunk. My brain will overtake anything, right? I would have to drink an entire bottle of Smirnoff or something. So for 30 minutes, I swear it was 30 minutes, man. It was nonstop fucking turbulence. And I kept looking at people like, is there anybody else here pissing their pants? My wife was asleep. My kids were asleep. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is it this bad? Are we going to die? Like, what the fuck? So after that, I have not been comfortable on planes. I hate it. And of course, every fucking thing since then, Kobe dying, Greg Biffle dying, it's like,
yeah,
two fucking planes crashing in DC. Like, I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on with these planes, man?
I flew out like the next night after that one, and after that, yeah, I've got a bunch of plane stories. I got air marshaled once. This is a true story. I got air marshaled.
No, I didn't know. What the hell did you do?
Yeah, my family always tells the story every time I go back to Missouri. Coincidentally or not. Yeah, I got air marshaled. This was shortly after 9/11. I was petrified. I was scared of flying. Didn't want to do it. We was going on a trip to Orlando. It was either Miami or Orlando. I don't remember. I think it was Orlando, Florida. Yeah, we flew into Orlando, Florida. And on this plane, I was like literally the only person under like 50, right? Everyone is knocked out, passed out, and I'm petrified of flying. I'm wide the fuck awake, can't sleep. Plane is half empty on top of being just all old people. And all the windows are open and I don't want to see outside because I'm tripping. So I go around the plane and I start shutting all the, everyone's knocked out. The fuck they got to look outside for? I don't want to see outside. So I'm going around, I'm shutting everything. Mind you, I'm young as fuck at this point. I'm going around, I'm shutting everything. I'm closing all the window seat, little fucking visor shit. I'm closing those. Before I know it, I get tackled. And the dude guys were like, okay, they took me to the back of the plane. They start like checking my information and this and that. And like, they realize like, oh, you're not a terrorist. You're just being a bitch. You just don't want to see outside. Right. But it gets better. So they put me next to the marshal. I'm sitting there the whole time and I'm, messing with him and I'm talking like, bro, like just shut all this shit. You're going to put me in a seat next to you with a fucking window open after all we just went through. Like, what I just did. Close your window, dude. I'm like, I don't want to see outside. I don't care what happens after this. Close your window. Why are you so upset with the window? I don't want to see outside. That's why. What's up? I don't want to see outside. And he's like, all right. I was tripping. So he looks at me. He's like, I'm not closing the window. I was like, wow, what you gonna do if something happens outside? And he's like, fair point. So close the window. And it's like, he closed the window, right? He closed it. All right. So we're sitting there. We get off, we go on thing, and like he's talking to a supervisor when we land in Orlando, and that had me for like a good like hour and a half. And they come out, they're like, look, you were air marshaled, you were basically blacklisted. We're gonna remove the restriction. You pose no threat. You were just being a nuisance. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm like, all right, so I can fly home after this shit? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. It gets better though, right? I do the Disney World, the Universal Orlando. I do all that. We get on the plane. At this point, we were going back, and on the way back, we were flying from Orlando to San Francisco, a connecting flight to LA. We get on the plane in Orlando, and I'm walking back. And as I'm walking on the plane, I look it up and I see the marshal. And I'm like, this motherfucker again? And I'm like, and he looks at me and says, you blow my cover, motherfucker? Because this is when marshals were on the plane after.
Yeah. Wow. What
the odds, right? And he sees me and he looks at me, and I was like, close the windows, bitch. I was like, I blow your cover. And like, right? And so there, I always remember that. And the funny thing is, Joe, I saw the dude again later, like years later. And they still have marshals on planes. And he's one of them. And I saw him like way after people think marshals were done with flying on planes. They're still on there.
Of course.
And I saw him. This was, what year did I fly to? Okay, this was 22. I saw him in 2022 on a plane to Oklahoma City. And I was like, this mother. And I looked at him. He looked at me.
This is a scene in a movie, dude. We got to do this.
No, it happened. It happened, and to be honest, and in the end, he ended up being really cool. Like he ended up. The whole reason, come to find out, the whole reason why I got removed from the list was because of him. So like I didn't know this till the OKC flight, but he said, he goes, oh, I remember that, man. He was like, and they're like, but I ain't seen this dude, bro. This was like 20 years, and I ran into him on a plane from Vegas to OKC, and And I just remember that. And I've been on planes that were struck by lightning. I've been on planes that had to do the emergency landings. Like, I hate flying. Hate it. And I've had some horrible luck with flying. And so, yeah, so that shit you said with that turbulence. But the thing is, like, my pilot friend, that people that tell me, they're like, no, look, that shit is like, the plane ain't going nowhere. It's in concentrated space. Like, it ain't going. The planes are built for that. He goes, if it's going up or down, like on takeoff or landing, that's when your worst is. When you up there, you straight. And I'm like, but it don't feel like I'm straight right now. He's like, but yeah, I got air marshal, man. And they dragged my ass through an aisle. But it was crazy.
That's a hell of a story, man. The fact that you kept running into him.
Yeah, well, I ran into him twice after the fact.
That's movie shit right there, man. Because there's no way that the timing of that work. Talk about small world. Jeez, man, twice.
Yeah, and one was 20 years apart.
That's crazy. Hey, man, did you get his name?
I got his name.
Salute to the air marshal.
I ain't gonna say his name, but I
that's
okay.
That's why. Yeah, salute to protecting the public.
I actually, I tried to buy him a beer, but he's on due, right? You know what I mean? But it was like, I will tell you this. The funny thing is that flight. So that flight, this is funny. This flight always sticks with me because not only did I run into the dude who air marshaled me 20 years ago, but I ran into a major NBA reporter leaving Summer League and sat next to him on a plane, and a baseball executive, all on the same plane to OKC. Craziness. I'll tell you this: the best connects of networking in baseball is in the Midwest. So if you're going and coming from the Midwest, you will discover some of the greatest baseball minds, from scouts to management to front offices to top tier ball players. Like, Midwest is the mecca of that shit. Traveling Midwest is mecca of that shit.
Are these guys like 30, 40-year guys or recent guys?
Oh, you talk about which one?
The scouts or the baseball people?
Baseball people, there was a literally like a contingent of them. There was a wide range, but there was a guy who I didn't know of at the time. We were just chopping it up, and come to find out, and he's been around for about 20 years. But like that flight alone was crazy because I stumbled upon like sometimes I find some of the craziest. I'm a little, so I'm trying to be careful right now. I stumbled upon the NBA dude was crazy. Because I had like tried to kind of link before and it didn't work, and this just landed perfectly, like just coincidence. And some of the best connects I've met were on layovers in airports.
So explain connects. Why are they good connects?
Well, I mean, so when you start talking to them, well, it goes two different ways. If you start talking to them and you know who they are, and they know then it's a little kind of uncomfortable at first, right? Like they're more guarded. If you don't know who they are and you're just talking to them like Jeff and Joe, then you build rapport, and then you kind of have a way easier way in. Versus if I ran up to, like, if I'm sitting down at a bar, I look to my right and Woj is sitting there, right? Woj ain't gonna, everyone knows Woj, right? Mm-hmm. Now they know Woj, right? Like, not back in the day Woj. But what I'm saying is, like, you sit down next to a heavy hitter and they're known is different. But you sit down to someone who no one walking around could recognize, including me, and you just start talking, you drink, you whatever, you're watching a game, you start going back and forth. You're sitting there sometimes an hour, 2 hours, depending on what it is. And you build a relationship with someone. If you're on the same flight, in this case, Southwest, which I was, that you can pick your seats, right? So you continue the conversation on the plane. And before you know it, you build like a real rapport with someone that has knowledge within the game, right? And so it took me like a good 30 minutes to realize who the person was. And I didn't know who they were prior, but as far as for them to open up, 30 minutes. And then once they did, I'm a salesman. I'm gonna get it at that point, right? So at that point, like once my antennas went up, then I just shut up. Right? I'll just like let them. So that flight was crazy because the NBA dude I definitely knew, and the NBA dude knew I knew who he was, but because he saw me talking baseball to this guy, he started talking baseball, and that was then my way in. So it's just crazy how the things kind of work. I've told you behind the scenes sometimes how I met a couple of people, like the way like it kind of just happens, and it does. Sometimes it's just luck, sometimes it's persistence, sometimes it's someone you know that speaks up for you. It's kind of just the way it goes. And some of the best connects that I've met in sports were at airports, like bar none.
Do you got the juice left in you to talk about the Chris Paul thing later in the show? Think about it. Man. Don't give me an answer yet. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you right now. This is some fuel for your peeps out there. Okay. So I did a little digging. Didn't take that long because I sort of knew and then just tightened it up a little bit from just memory. So, do you remember what year the NBA started their salary cap?
Did the NBA started the salary
NBA,
cap?
Not NFL.
NBA. What year was the lockout that Kobe and Shaq voted against?
Nope, way earlier.
No. So I'm asking a year. I'm not saying that. What year was that?
When
it was late 90s.
99 was the lockout.
Huh?
99 was the lockout. Well, 98 technically.
99. Yeah. So the year the Spurs won it, right? So, right now off the top of my head, no.
Okay, 1985.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I know it was before that. Yeah,
1985 was when the NBA started their salary cap. 1994 is when the NFL started their salary cap. The year before 94 for the NFL was when free agency started. So sometimes people get confused. 93 was the free agency, first year free agency. Before then, they had this thing called Plan B, and they were integral parts of how they did that.
That was the NFL?
This is the NFL. So 94 started the salary cap in the NFL. 1985, the salary cap started in the NBA. So
yeah, okay, that sounds right.
For those of you who are behind, we're talking 84, 95 season, BC. So if you're talking about technically when it started, it's the NBA considers their season the second half of the year.
Yeah,
so
like
you're right. It is 84, but it's technically
like this one will be 2026, even though it's 2025.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
whoever wins the championship wins the championship.
Only baseball. Well, only major sport is baseball is in all 1 year, right? So
1 calendar year. Yeah.
So okay, good. I didn't know that, son. I don't take pills. Maybe Advil once in a while. So
this is crazy.
So okay. So 1985 NBA. 94 NFL. I'm gonna read you guys, and you can do your research if you have to, but I'm gonna list the names from 1985 till last year in terms of teams that have won, and I'll also count them for you. Okay, since 1985, obviously there's been more than one. Teams
you talking about just baseball?
No, I'm gonna start with NBA right now.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do the NFL. The NFL is a little tougher because it's 9 years ahead. But I'm just gonna use that as another angle of this.
I get you, man. And I apologize. Okay. When I'm sober, I'm far less interrupted.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So since 85, you've had Lakers. And again, I'm not going to go per year. I'm saying the teams that have won a championship. That means Lakers have won multiple. Pistons have won multiple. Bulls have won. So I'm just going to name the amount of teams that have won. Mind you, even during that time, there were 23 teams, and now it's 30. So this becomes even more relevant as things go on. So remember that.
Here.
Okay, remember that. You're all gonna learn something tonight, and Jeff's gonna have some ammo for the jerk-offs out there that keep wanting to nut all over a salary cap. Anyways, since 85 in the NBA, the first year, 84-85 season, the first year the NBA implemented the salary cap. Now, the salary cap in the NBA was a soft cap. To put this in easier terms, I'm not going to get into the Larry Bird rules and all that. I'm just going to say the they have a cap, but there is a soft cap in that you could sign your own guys for as much money as you can, as long as you have the bird rights. So that's that. Now, the NFL has a hard cap. There is no soft, whether they're getting somebody or keeping somebody. It's hard, period, done. Okay? Clear. Good. Soft cap NBA 1985, the start. You had the Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, Bulls, Rockets, Spurs, Heat, Mavericks, Warriors, Cavs, Raptors, Bucks, Nuggets, Thunder.
Wait, Raptors in 84? No way.
No, I'm talking about teams that have won a championship since
okay,
then.
okay, sorry. The league. Yeah. Okay, that have won
it
since 84.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 teams since 1985 that have won an NBA championship in a salary cap era.
That's 41 years.
That's basically half the league.
Yep.
NBA has 30 teams. And by the way, I could have went deeper in this and say it's more if you factor in teams that made it to the finals. But I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to keep it simple, okay? Half the fucking league in the NBA have won a championship since 1985 with a cap. Next. Football, I'm going to throw this in there, even though they're 9 years ahead, just for shits and giggles. Niners, Cowboys, Packers, Broncos, Rams, Ravens, Patriots, Buccaneers, Steelers, Colts, Giants, Saints,
that's the name I'm waiting for.
Seahawks, Eagles, Chiefs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 32 teams in the NFL.
Oh, the MLB's more.
So by percentages, it's less. Less parity in the NFL, less time. Whatever, right?
I mean, Joe, I'm gonna go off the top of my head here, but I'm gonna, because I don't know, I'm gonna assume 90%, 85 to 90% of the MLB has. But go. I'm gonna assume here.
I'm gonna start this from 85 because I wanted to use I wanted to use the same timeline as at least one of them. Okay, one with a cap, one without. Baseball, no cap since 1985. Mets, Twins, A's, Reds, Blue Jays, Braves, Yankees, Marlins, D-backs, Angels, Red Sox, White Sox, Cardinals, Phillies, Giants, Royals, Cubs, Astros, Nationals, Dodgers, Rangers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 fucking teams out of 30. Out of 30. 19 teams since 1985.
No cap.
No cap. The NBA had a cap in 85, 14 teams. So don't look, first of all, I'm going to throw this in here. The Chiefs haven't been cheating. No, there's a salary cap, whatever. And y'all are bitching about that. You bitched about the Patriots winning. Just admit when teams start to win too much, your balls turn into vaginas. Just admit it. Admit it. Seriously, admit it.
Yep.
Know your history. Know your shit. Because at some point, somebody's going to call you out. And then what's going to happen is you'll start to, what is it? What do they call it?
Moving the goalpost.
Moving the goalpost is good. But there's the other one. There's worse one. Not grandstanding. Gaslighting.
Yep.
So explain that. Jeff, explain that to me like I'm a 8-year-old. Like 8-year-old won't give a shit what we're talking about, but I'm just throwing that out.
How they gaslight it? So
tell me how a league, and we're talking about 40 years.
Yeah.
40.
Baseball has always been the parity sport. Baseball has always been that we said the best team doesn't always win. As a matter of fact, the best team a lot of times you could bet against and feel comfortable with it in baseball because it does not mean anything. You can sit here and talk about like of all the times the Dodgers were a better team in the series and lost, right? You can sit here and talk about the time the teams were better and lost. In the NFL, when the Giants beat the Patriots twice, that was a shocker, right? In MLB, when the lesser team beats the better team, it is not a shocker. It's not. And so many times that we hear in baseball, When it gets into the series that in baseball, anyone can win. So it's like when anyone says the Dodgers are ruining baseball, the Dodgers can add more players to this team and still get beat. Because baseball, unlike any other sport, the best team is not guaranteed to win. And the best team could get cold and be outplayed by the worst team. The best team in baseball can get swept by the worst team in baseball. This happens. Now, you can go to the NBA and look at a team that could lose a series to a lesser team. But when's the last time the best team in the NBA, while healthy, got swept by a lesser team? Now, when's the last time that the number 1 seed in the NBA got swept by the 8 seed while healthy? It just doesn't happen. Whereas the number 1 seed in MLB in a division round in a 5-game series could very easily lose, and no one would be shocked. That's the difference between baseball and basketball and football or any other sport, to be honest with you, because the hardest thing in sports is putting that bat on that baseball, point blank, period. And so this is why the parity is higher in baseball, is because you get a team that just gets hot. All they got to do is get in, and you've got a chance. No matter what anyone says, any team that gets into the dance has a chance to take her home, period. And we've seen it time and time again. And we saw the Dodgers almost fall victim to that this year. They almost did against the, if not for a half a footstep, they lose the World Series.
So I regenerated the home plate in that play. So the second Will Smith's front cleat hit, you could
the second time
you could see you can see it like soften. You could tell he hit it. IKF's foot was 2.5 inches away.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
2.5 inches.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, it could have been 3, but when I freeze framed it, it was try to do the equivalent of about 2.5 inches away.
No, that umpire got it right live.
He got it right live because I think what he did was he was listening to the ball.
Yes.
If he wasn't, we might have lost that World Series, and it would have been a bad call. Yeah. So he went the right way because they can't end that. They can't change that call.
Overturn it, yeah. Because had they called it safe and then reviewed it, it's tougher to overturn it. So that
cheers to that by the way, man.
Yeah, no, for real. The fact that he got that's impressive, bro. Like we spend a lot of time ripping umps. And look, listen to me. Had he been safe and he got it right, I would still say, even though it would have stung, but he got it right. Right? I would admit if it was right, right? But
there's no logical anything in life. If the call is right, you can't get mad at anybody, no matter what.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They were saying that about 2 years ago when the holding call was on. I can't remember what cornerback it was that held the Chiefs receiver, and then the game ended up
Philly, right? Against Philly.
Yeah, Philly lost that Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. To the Chiefs because of the last second. And I remember listening to Mad Dog Russo, which I really lost I didn't lose respect for him, but I was like, dude, Mad Dog, really? You're really blowing. He basically was saying you can't end the game and that. Dude, it's a foul's a foul. You can't. It doesn't work like that.
You can't let a player get away with that play. You have to be able to call that.
Yeah, that's on him, and he admitted it too. The player admitted he held.
Yeah, I would rather than miss that early in the game than at the end. You know what I mean? Like at the end, you can't let a team get an advantage like that.
The right call's the right call, no matter how you feel about it.
It's why people say you can't call a foul there. I mean, why? You're going to give an advantage to the other team because you can't call a foul there? It never made sense to me. It never made sense to me. It's just like someone saying that someone blew the game in the fourth. Yeah, it's magnified, but those 2 turnovers in the first quarter that they scored on you put you in that position to that play to matter more than it should have, right? So, like, every one of these plays matter. It just when they're magnetized. So,
so again, that's the fuel.
I mean, I battle people like nonstop under my comments. My comment section is crazy. And there's a lot of dumb motherfuckers like that just don't even want to talk logically. They're just bitter and sad. They're just the mama basement boys, and you can't argue with a mama basement boy. And it's always those with no profile picture.
It's worse.
They private profile, hide behind everything, that got the most to say, right?
It's worse. It's worse. It's I know that there's a lot of bots out there too that create havoc online to kind of infect. My buddy's a Fed in New Mexico, and he works in the cyber world, and this isn't something he told. I mean, this is something that's already public, even before I talked to him about it. Russia, and I'm not trying to show
Russia and China are the two biggest components.
But Russia and China, yeah. There's a clip of this one. I don't know. There's a clip that I saw of a guy that had like 400 cell phones in his house, and it's just, and I guess they make money doing that somehow.
They do, and I can kind of catch when it's a bot, kind of now. So like when it's a bot or when it's someone who's just a straight up troll, right? And I had like, because the amount of speed at which the response is. A bot will respond within, you could do like a whole long response and it'll hit you with a whole long response in seconds. So you know it's a bot because it's an AI response. But if it's you can, because I've been like, as my I don't want to say platforms, but as my pages on different socials, whether it's TikTok, IG, whatever it is, you come across these different style of ones. And sometimes I can tell when it's about like right away. And sometimes you can't tell right away because they put in the like response like limits and stuff like that. So but there is a lot of bots out there, and there's also just a lot of jackasses out there who just, no matter what you tell them, when it comes to the Dodgers, they just hate them. They just hate them. And so there's no logic to them. They're just going to say the Dodgers always choked. 2020 doesn't count. They bought every championship. There's just a bunch. It's like the dudes who just every girl they've ever loved, they've lost to the other guy, right? It's just those type of dudes. You know what I mean? It's those type of dudes. They never bagged one. So the difference between those who have never bagged one and those of us who have bagged, you know what I mean? It's a different world. It's a different world. And you can spot, Joe, you could be out, and I could spot these dudes a mile away. I could spot a dude that's never bagged one a mile away. And these dudes are dudes that never bagged one. Point blank, period. And they're just out there hating on those that bagged them. And it just is what it is. They don't like their lives. They don't like their situation. So they're just out there trying to, that misery loves company. They're looking for company. But I'm not Jack tripping, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not my company. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's a good point. And it's social media. Social media is the worst part about what social media is the nobody's got attention finally, and
there's no gatekeepers no more.
And then they started making money being that way, and everyone wanted to do it. So when I'm on social media because I have a business. I have a social media, Facebook and an Instagram, but it's for business. I do comment on it from a personal standpoint too. But my Facebook's a private thing. But of course, public stuff comes up on my page, and once in a while, I'll go back and forth with some people out there, right? But ultimately, I'm not out there throwing content out like let's say like you do. I don't. It's not my thing. What I find interesting is it doesn't matter what the algorithm is on me. It seems like I keep getting fed garbage. It's very clear that I'm out looking for sports stuff. Yet half my shit, because my buddy sends me a picture of Jessica Alba doing something. Not, she's not a skank. She's not a Playboy playmate. Like, just, hey, look at Jessica. Look at Tiffany from whatever, right? Girls that we like from Entourage, whatever. And all of a sudden, I get a flood of skanks pics. And of course, being a guy liking women, I'm like, who's this? And usually then you click on that and now you're like, oh shit, now I know what's going on. So it's become an area of dopamine constant dopamine is what social media is.
That's why I don't stay on it. Like I post and get the hell out of Dodge.
But how do you stay out of Dodge? See, that's the trick, is for you to continue to get more activity, you got to be on it more.
No, you have to engage more. There's a difference. So, yeah. So like for me, like I'll go in and so like Twitter, right? Twitter X, for example.
Did you read that?
I don't have my glasses and I saw that. Yeah. What I'm saying is this: you don't like on Twitter X. I have the one that I can filter out just the columns I want to see on lists. You know what I can see. So
Italian is the first and last every time anybody meets me.
Yeah, that's what
I've been asked if I was Latin or Hispanic maybe like twice in my life, but everyone thinks I'm Italian.
I called you on Christmas, like, Joe, do you even celebrate Christmas? I'm Catholic. He's like
yeah.
No, but I was just fucking with you. But what I'm saying is like I'll get on like Twitter X and I sort out my columns and I only see the reporters or the writers or the columnists or my inner circle, the people I want to see. I filter out all the junk. I don't scroll on TikTok. Like I don't scroll through it, and my algorithm or my FYP really isn't going to be authentic because I don't really scroll through it. And on Instagram, it's basically because of Lucky and because it's either sports, food, or whatever. My wife is always sending me on DMs because she hasn't figured out how to use the bookmark. So like for me, it's like it's I don't really look at it. My friends always tell me you never comment on my stuff, you never see my stuff, because I just post my stuff and I get the fuck out of there. Like I don't live on social media. I don't. So like I'm very present for my stuff. Like my stuff is on there, but I don't. But I'll go in there and I will be like, okay, so I have like a couple different systems and a couple different softwares and a couple different things that kind of tie me into certain things. And by me just going and engaging in that, it will help my growth. So I'll do that, right? But I'm not like really invested in it. I just do what I got to do and I get the fuck out of there. So for me, I don't go down a rabbit hole. Like I don't sit there and just like go and like fall into all this stuff. If you look at the app and it tells you like the amount of time you're in the actual app, mine is all basically for self-serving purposes. I'm posting my stuff and I'm getting out of there. When I film a video, I do my captions, I hit all 4 and I'm gone. I'm gone. So it's like I don't sit on there. I don't look at the views. I don't look at the comments. If I'll get a comment, if it pops up on a notification, I got time to respond when I see it, I'll do it. I'll post it, I'm out of there. I'm in and I'm out. And so because I found that when you stick around, you end up with all these goofies and all these people who think they're bigger than they are, or all these dudes and it's just
there's too many people in the world. Yeah.
I mean, no, it's not even just that, but it's like there's people who make money on social media, and there's those that don't, and there's way less that make money on social media than people think. I'm a guy that makes money out in these streets. I make money outside. I don't make my money off this stuff. I don't build my life off this stuff. I do it because I have fun and I love to do it. But I get in and I get the fuck out. I'm not around here acting like I'm making a career off this, right? So for me, I think I said it on the show before. Like I got money to make. I'm not gonna put aside the real money for the fake money. I'll do this in spare time. You know what I mean? So that's what it is for me. That's how I don't end up down the rabbit hole. And I've been around enough, working on this show or going to that show, content creators, content to where you realize what it really is behind the scenes. And so for me, that's why I know you label yourself a lone wolf, but I'm truly a lone wolf. I'm actually more of a lone wolf than you are, believe it or not, right? Because I don't got a crew. I don't got co-hosts. You know what I mean? I'm me. I'm one and done. You know what I mean? I'm a legit lone wolf out here in these social media streets. I am one. And so, like, that's by design because I learned very early that it's just better that way. And a lot of these people, we share very similar chats, right? So like a lot of people that'll be in your show will be on my show, but my other pages are different because those are whole different communities. It's very rare. It's like I think there's only maybe 10 people who are on all my like platforms. Like Chris is with me everywhere. Lakers Dodgers for life. He's with me everywhere. Outside of that, it's like I got my YouTube people, I got my IG people, I got my TikTok people, I got my Twitter X people, but they're not all commingled. And so it's a whole different world in all these different places.
What's the link? Different? Are you asking for the link for Jeff?
The link? Huh?
Hold on. Empire Jeff. Just look for Empire Jeff here. Look for Empire Jeff through all social medias. You'll find him. Yeah,
Empire Jeff TV is.
So Jeff, I got Rock over here, Rocky Rivera. He asked a question. What was the event that turned you into a lone wolf?
Well. So to be honest, I started as a lone wolf, and that's always where I've been more comfortable. So I started as a lone wolf.
Is that true though, Jeff? I mean, I met your family, man. That's a hell of a.
I'm talking about.
That's a hell of a wolf pack, though.
No. I'm talking about on the internet, Joe.
So that makes sense. I'm trying to compliment you, man.
Yeah. You know, when it's offline, I'm far from a lone wolf. I got an army. In real life,
you got a wolf pack.
Yeah, in real life, I'm unfuckwithable. In real life, so, but because dudes know, like Joe, you've been in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like where I'm at, where I live, what I do. Like in real life, there's nothing lone wolf about me. On the internet, I'm a lone wolf.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a total difference. So it says, as far as what's the event that turned me into a lone wolf, starting COVID turned me into a lone wolf. When starting doing shows and stuff like that turned me into a lone wolf. And then I started to get, I'm trying to use the right word here. I don't want to say, I don't know about notoriety. I don't know what it is, right? I started to get noticed a little bit, right? And, you know, I had some people that took, you guys saw me later on, right? But like, you know, you had like Lakers in 5, Kareem Report. We had a lot of dudes and some others that kind of like took notice of me. I would go on other people's shows, and you know, I built a little, you know, I guess you could say a name for myself, right? And I was that dude that knew the CBA before dudes knew the CBA. Even today, dudes don't know the CBA. They pull it offline. Half that shit is fake anyways. But I was that dude that knew the CBA. So any channel that was trying to break down trades, like it'd be like these dudes be having like 1 a.m. streams texting me to confirm the argument during their panel, right? So like I was a dude that knew that. And then when I started getting into all that and like all the arguments and all this, the back and forth, and I was that dude that pushed back on all the Darvin Ham hate. I pushed back on the Pelinka hate. I pushed back on the Dave Roberts hate. It's not that I think that these guys are not above reproach, but all the attacks for the most part is they're not genuine. They're not real. Because here we are years after Darvin Ham got fired and the same problems are there. You get what I'm saying? Here we are with Dave Roberts and we've won 2 more championships. Here we are like still with all the same things. And so I've always pushed back on that type of stuff. And so people who die on the hill and don't like to be challenged don't like that. But Chris, you know what? Honestly, there's only like probably Chris knows the deal.
Okay, so you guys got a little bit of taste of who Jeff is. So I'm gonna go back to Rock's question about the internet if it's ruined the kids. So this is even before politics have engulfed our personality 10 years ago. So I'm an observer. I always got my head on a swivel, right? Doesn't matter where it is. Actually, the best stories are from normal areas, like going to school events, school playgrounds where the kids are going to do some kind of sing along and everybody's there clapping and shit, right? And I'm always gauging the parent because I'm a parent, you know. And teachers get a lot of shit. And of course, there's always the exception. There's always the shitty teacher out there here and there. But from my experience being around preschool, being around elementary school, being around junior high or middle school or high school, all these different divisions of schools, me being in college, all that shit, right? I'm walking around and I'm seeing how these teachers are dealing with stuff. I go and hang out with them and talk about my kid with them and all that stuff too, right? And then I see the parents. And then my wife works in the school district. And I hear the stories of what she has to deal with. And the public, the tighty-whitey trolls that are in their mama's basement that you deal with, all these people are all on the same boat. They are miserable, problematic, and just projection machines, blaming everybody and everything for the shit that they do.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was this one local post. This wasn't like some random MLB networking talking shit to some stupid Giants fan that's delusional, right? Shit like today. This is a local forum, and I said something that absolutely hit a target. So you guys will hear me if you guys, for those of you who aren't on here already and subscribe, notify, and like, and you'll hear this probably more often than not. Hit a nerve, hit a target. And I learned this from one of my friends. Great line. It's an old line, but it's a line that I heard for the first time through my friend, so I can give him the credit for it. Hit a nerve, hit a target. Everyone was bitching and whining about teachers and the school and the teacher and the school and the teacher. And I was the fucking asshole that came out of nowhere and said, well, maybe if you guys, could discipline your children better, maybe you wouldn't have to worry about what the teacher's doing at school. And I mean, it was a fucking flood of fucking replies that if I was there, they would have had their pitchforks. ICE would have been blamed for it. Fucking Trump would have been blamed for it. Like the whole world would have been blamed for what I said. That was the kind of tone it came out of, right? I'm going to tell you a story, Jeff, and you probably already know this. My kids are on social media. They're about this culture. They use words like Riz and bruh and bro to their own mother. I'm all into that. I hear it, know it, I got it. You know how many times my kids have mouthed off to me, Gerald? I'm sorry, Gerald. Jesus, I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry. Hold on. I fucked that up.
No, you're good.
Jeff, sorry. Jesus, I think the drink is starting to hit me.
It's not like you called me Hitler, bro. You called me Gerald.
Sorry. You know how many times my kid have mouthed off to me? One is 13, the other 16 in the next few months. 0. Why am I special? You might be asking. I was born to raise children. That's why. Because there's discipline, there's manners, and I'm also a force. And the force is energy. Most people can't handle the energy from their children. If you're a grown-ass adult and you can't handle the energy from your children, they're going to run you over. And believe me when I say this, if I wasn't like that, if I wasn't born like that, they would run over. Because you can see it sometimes. Because mom, and this is all premeditated, mom is the softie. Mom does everything for my kids. They worship their mother. Now, in my culture, that's the law of order. When the children love the mother, I don't give a fuck about the dad and all that. Like, I had a really nice lady say something nice to me, and I had to explain to her the culture that I come from. I said, that's a beautiful thing, and I appreciate you saying that. You guys know how I can't handle compliments. I'm not really into compliments, and it makes me itch. But again, for strangers, I can't be like, hey, stop complimenting me, I said, I really appreciate that. My culture is a little different, though. Our culture is about mom. If the children love the mother and they know they can go to their mom, the children almost 100% come out right. So daddy's little girl doesn't really work in my culture. That's kind of an American thing. And again, for those of you who don't know, again, I didn't know English the first 5 years of my life. Now, I was born here, but my parents were foreigners, came to America in 1976. I was born in 78. So, do the math. So your children, you can sit there and blame the teachers. You can sit there and blame social media. At the end of the day, where are they spending their time? Where did they come from? It's your ass they came from. Do your job, as Bill Belichick would say. Mr. Non-Hall of Famer, by the way. I don't know how the hell that happened, by the way. But My advice to anyone, and again, I'm not a life coach. Jeff, you know that shit. I'm not a life coach. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. But what I do tell everyone that's around me, and this is probably why my friends and my family put up with me, is that I'm the greatest defense system in their life. Because I don't truly give a fuck. And a lot of people who say they don't give a fuck are usually lying to you. They do give a fuck. But I'm the exception to that. I really don't give a fuck. And in the end, you know my results line. It's about the results.
It's one of my favorite ones.
Why am I married happily since 2008? Why do I have friends for 30 and 25 and 20 years? Because at the end of the day, everyone knows, every single person in my life knows who's the first call they're going to make if they're in jail. That's loyalty. And if my kids see that around them, they see that my wife respects me, my friends respect me, I'm not a junkie, I'm not a drunk, and I look them straight in the eye when I talk to them or wait for them to speak. You know, kids are very, very smart if you set them up the right way. And what ends up happening is I got 2 girls because God wasn't going to give me a boy. I knew that after the second one. He did throw me a bone. My second is just like me, but in a female form. But she has one thing that I don't have. She does have like that, still that like female thing that I'll never have, obviously, and that's it. That's it. I'll give you this. I'm not going to give you a boy because if you give me a boy, it's going to be the second coming of Genghis Khan. I can't do that. I knew that right after because I only wanted 2 kids. I didn't want any more. My wife didn't want any more either. But I thought I was going to get a boy. Anyways, so moral of the story is blame social media. Before it was social media, it was the telephone. Before that, it was God knows what. It was drugs. It was
bad influences.
Right, bad influence. It's all bullshit. Okay, my kids have grown up in this era of kind of pussiness, but my kids are smart. They get good grades. Their teachers aren't jerk offs. Oh, wow, what a surprise! How come everybody's a jerk off to you, but my kids don't have a problem with their teacher? I didn't have a problem in college. I didn't have any professors that were fucked up. I didn't have any bad teachers in high school. I went to public schools. I went to a state college. So maybe it's you. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and figure out what are you really trying to do there. That's kind of veered off here, but again, that's why it's called the experiment. Everything on this show is an experiment. How do you earn its respect? How do you gain trust with people? That's a great question. So I'm gonna take away from the family stuff because that's kind of easy for me. I'm gonna go with work. So I'm a landscape contractor. I build things outside the home. How do I build trust with people's money? We're talking about projects that can vary from $2,000 to $20,000 on a normal scale, and then sometimes it could be pushed out to 60 to 100,000. How do I earn that trust? Okay, so number one, you're going to have at some point during this time, you're going to have a timeline of work, right? They can check you online. They know where your business is, what you can. I have an address. I have a workshop. I have a shop. I have nothing but 5-star reviews. I don't have a single review online that's not 5-star. So that helps. Then it's me speaking to them in front of them, in their home, whatever. And I'm gonna keep this short because this could take forever if I had to explain it. I like to fuck with my competition, and this is where I can usually get a pretty upper hand. I can get an upper hand on it. I'm really good with money. Most of the people in the landscape construction world are not good with money. So what I'll do is on a job that's under 10 grand, I won't take any money up front. So there's a psychology to it. There's a psychology to it because I control the time now. If my guys don't show up for an hour because they decided to go pick up base before they went to the job, they're not going to complain. They don't give a shit. They haven't dropped a dime yet. If I told them you need to give me $5,000, which by the way, it's illegal in the state of California, you can only take 10%, but a lot of people don't know that. Then I'm like, the second you're a minute late, they're worried that you're not going to show up. So this is all tactical. There's more than one reason why we do things. So with that, what I'll do is I'll say, to earn your trust, I'm not going to take a dime. And of course, the next question for my people, and of course, everybody always used to say, and all my contractor friends, like, oh man, you're going to get burned one of these days. I said, why am I going to get burned? For what? I can put a mechanic's lien on that house and they're fucked. They can't sell or refinance their home. Well, what if they don't sell the home and they don't refinance? I go, okay, well, if you don't have 20, 30, 40, 50 grand in the bank to cover that, then you don't belong in business anyways. I said, but that's not going to happen. It's not, because they still need the job to get done.
Who's gonna just? They don't like stuff being attached to them either.
Right. So in the end, you build trust by your work, by your word, by your execution, by your results. No one has ever seen anything that we've built and said, I'm not paying you. Why the fuck would they do that? Because our shit is a fucking the shit. Not a single time in a decade that I've been doing this have I ever been stiffed. Ever. And I never will. Because guess what? As much as you're trying to check me out, I'm checking your dumb ass out. If I sense anything weird, I'm not doing the job. I've only been jacked once on that, but I wasn't really jacked. What I did was I went out for a job out in Palm Springs, and all those assholes out there are all fucking rich cocksuckers. All of them. Almost all of them. Okay? The rich ones out in the desert are the worst ones. And I don't get along with one demographic in this planet. One fucking demographic. I get along with everyone. Men, women, black, white, Mexican, doesn't matter. Just one fucking demographic that I don't get along with all the time. The rich, baby boomer, white millionaire. 90% of the time, after about 2 minutes of talking to those motherfuckers, I start feeling the measuring. I'm like, oh. Like, this fucker's measuring. You can see it. He's measuring. He's just waiting for me to fuck up so that he has an excuse to just tell me to fuck off. And then, of course, it doesn't happen. I'm like, look, I'm here to do a job. So anyways, that's the only problem I've had in that world. And then in the end, building trust is execution and results. You produce the results and be a strong man. I'm not gonna submit to this. Every generation gets softer because technology and shit makes things easier. But I'm gonna give you guys some advice on this. Stop using the GPS once in a while. Just try to remember where you're going and try to remember phone numbers. Try to remember phone numbers. It keeps your brain trained. I know it's hard. I know it's easy to just put the number in there and press the button, but sometimes remember the number, especially if it's somebody you know well. Know your daughter's number. Know your daughter's number. Obviously, know your wife's number. Know your parents' number. Know that shit. It's training for your mind. I get pissed off sometimes. I go to a place 4 times. I can't fucking remember. Then at that point, I'm like, fuck it. I'm not fucking using this GPS. I'm going to drive over there. And I'll call the guy. I'm like, hey, listen, this is going to sound stupid, but where do you live? He goes, what the fuck are you talking about? You've been here 3 times. Just use the GPS. I'm like, no, I'm not. I want the fucking directions because I got to remember this next time. So little things like that help. Great question, by the way. Men are horrible nowadays. I feel bad for your daughters, Joe. Men are. Oh, don't even worry about that. Don't worry about that, sports. Don't worry about that. I don't plan to go anywhere. I'm pretty diligent and I'm pretty self-aware. I'll croak when my girls find their men. And, I've already been fortunate. My sister, whom was the girl in my life that I protected, she married a great man. A very nice man who's not a bitch. It's very hard to find those. That's the key right there. A nice guy who's not a bitch. That's tough because usually it's one or the other. Either one is too much or one is too little. This guy is the perfect blend. My brother-in-law, Brandon. Good dude. Thank God. And if my sister can find someone like that, I'm pretty sure her being around us and my culture and my life, I'm sure my girls are going to reciprocate as well from there. So again, that's a good point, but I feel very comfortable that God's going to keep me on earth long enough for my girls to go with someone that I know that can protect them before I croak. And if that happens, then I'm living on extra time. So that's kind of how I look at that. 80s, it was MTV. Mm-hmm. Jeff, did Ox gain respect and how? Oh, Jeff, how did Ox gain respect, and how did you start trusting him as a friend? What test did he have to pass to prove to you what was scanning process? Jeff, Trevor, that's a great. Trevor Lanes is a regular here, so with a Z.
With a Z. It's like Tory Lanez. I don't know. There wasn't a test. Like I can't get on to the Lanes. Trevor Lanes is shout out to the real Trevor Lane. It was never a test. For me, it was like, I guess it was like me and Joe give each other a lot of shit, but neither one of us are bitches about it. Like I said, we talked earlier about people on the internet, and you work behind the scenes, you work with people, and not everybody's built like that. They love when you love them, but if you challenge them, they don't like it. And they love if you put shine on them, but they don't love it when you have shine on you. You know, and so for me, I'm again, that's why I'm kind of a lone wolf. Joe's kind of a lone wolf. I gravitate towards lone wolves like that because they can't be poisoned by a crew. They don't got someone in their ear saying, "Oh, we gotta be this guy, gotta walk over this guy." I don't do any of that shit. You know what I mean? So like for me, it's like there's really I don't really have the answer for it because there was never a test. There was never we just always hit it off. You know, we always hit it off. We're kind of of the same era. We like the same things. It was just kind of like an evolution of a friendship. Like it really wasn't. And I haven't met many people intentionally off the internet. Like I've ran into people. It's kind of weird. I'm still not used to it, but I'm trying to be careful with my words because I'm still a small creator, but I run into people now who have seen the show or will recognize me even as a small creator. That's different than someone that you intentionally link up with, right? So it's like I have met a good amount of people off of this that I've run into, but outside of that, those that I've intentionally linked up with is very few, right? So the answer to that is we just always got along. There was never. I'm not a hater to begin with. And I've never felt Joe hated on me, right? So like I can't say that for everybody. So I'm very good at catching the subliminals. I'm very good at catching the indirects. And Joe doesn't do subliminals or indirects. He'll tell you, Jeff, go fuck yourself, like real quick. And I'm the same way. Like he'll and I can speak on how I feel like I kind of earned his respect is because him being how he is, the big Shrek motherfucker, and like I never like back down, right? Like he'll hit me with something he just 1000% believes in. I'm like, nah, fuck that. I don't like, and we'll just like we could push each other without disrespect. And even if something is said that someone would take as disrespect, we don't take as disrespect. So it's just different. We're from a different era. We're from a different era where you can tell one of your brothers to go fuck themselves and then go grab a beer, right? It's different. So it's like that's kind of how it always was for me. Joe came from my era, so it was very easy to just be me, like around him, right? And I wouldn't have brought Joe like around my family or around my circle or like into my home. I wouldn't have done that if I didn't trust the motherfucker. You know what I mean? So it's a different type of thing with most people on the internet. I mean, Joe's like I do consider like he's a friend of mine, right? Like a lot of these dudes on here, I wouldn't say we're friends. We collaborate, you know, but Joe, I do consider a friend, and it just kind of just naturally happened. I don't know when or how it just did. It might have been the Dodgers, really. It might have been.
That was the spark because I've been on this earth a long time, and I've been a Dodger fan since I was 10. In terms of memory and being immersed in it, because you don't remember shit when you're a kid, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I can't remember hardly shit of 88.
Yeah, my memory of the Dodgers support, memory, I remember is 1988. Before I lived in the
pockets of it. I can't remember.
No. Yeah. A lot of it is pockets for sure. Yeah, but what's vivid is the 88 World Series, and I'll tell you why. The reason why I remember it likely is I was invested in it. But you have to understand where I was from too. It made sense that that the memory stuck. I was in the Central Valley growing up, so all I was around was Giants and A's fans. And I'm telling you right now, 5th graders are the best shit talkers on the planet because they're right at that line of They don't have any filter. They're fucking little fucking cocksuckers, and they're fucking kids. Kids are fucking brutal, right? I got so much shit that fucking October from all of my fucking A's friends that it's in those people who get made fun of their whole lives. Like, there's a reason why those guys conquer in their industries later and whatever it is, because they were the ones. They always tell the same story, right? Oh, nobody believed in me. People made fun of me because my left ear was out, whatever, like all that shit, right? Well, the reason why it was vivid was because I bet you if I was in LA, then maybe I wouldn't have remembered it. But because I was in the Central Valley with a bunch of fucking A's and Giants fans, so not only was I getting shit from A's fans and they were in the World Series, and the A's were a fucking juggernaut. Imagine the Dodgers. Imagine the Dodgers now playing the Reds in the World Series. I know that's not possible, but I'm using that in terms of the talent disparity. That's how it was in '88. The Dodgers team, other than Oral Hershiser and sort of Kirk Gibson, who was the MVP that year, the Dodgers had no business beating the Mets, number one, and they had no business beating the A's. None. Okay? And this is why baseball is great. Look what the Toronto Jays did. Okay? They should have won this in 5. Anyways, point is, the memory was there. A lot of the memory was there because I got so much shit at school. It stayed. And man, when that fucking home run hit, I still, God rest his soul, I have never heard my dad scream before and after the second Kurt Gibson just flung that arm for the home run. It's still in I can hear it right now. Never have heard him scream. Not disciplining me, yelling at my mom yelling at dad, normal home life stuff, right? Not ever have I heard my dad scream like I did when that ball was traveling right while Vince Scully was talking. So that's why the memory is there. So that's an interesting kind of segue into kind of how you become what you become. As far as Jeff and I think the reason why you and I get along, well, the first spark was the fact that you're the first, and the point of the story is that was the beginning. Imagine this, since 1988 until, when did we meet, Jeff? 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
I think like 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's 2024. What is that now? 24, 34,
probably about
36 years. Yeah. In 36 years of being on this planet, I've never talked to anyone in my life about Dodger baseball like I do with Jeff. Like, it was like the second I heard him say a couple things, I was like, the fuck? Really? And it wasn't this, oh, Kirk Gibson home run, or Manny Ramirez came to LA in 2008. No, this was like detail shit that only I knew for all these years that no one gave a fuck about. I've talked about Lakers. For NFL and Lakers is easy. You can find 50 people that know that shit. But I had no one in my life that knew shit about the Dodgers. So much so that I kind of consider him like my little brother, because he's my best friend's little brother. So my buddy Steve, who I've known since the same amount of time, basically, because I grew up with the family, basically, he told me the other day, he goes, man, I didn't know you knew this much about baseball. Dude, I've known this guy for the same amount of time when he was a little fucking kid. It's been 38 years, and that's the first time he's ever said something like that about baseball. I said, man, you have no idea what the fuck I know about baseball. I couldn't talk to anybody. No one gave a shit about baseball back in the day. No one talked about it. Not in high school, not in college, not post-college. I'm like, I was the only guy hey, man, did you see Manny Ramirez? And yeah. So that was the spark. So salute to Jeff. Finally met my Dodger brother. But in the end, man, all that kind of went second when I met your parents. I was like, oh, man.
Family, man.
I was like, man, I gotta, this is too good, man. I go, there's no way. There's no way. This is too good. So again, that's how you build trust. I'm a family guy.
Me too.
People say they're family people. They're not. We're family people.
Yeah, I'm a big time. I try to take my dad everywhere. I try my parents. I like they're retired now. I try to if I'm going to a bar pop, you want to go? Mom, you want to go? I was with them earlier. You know what I mean? Like to me, if I could be in one place with my wife, my dog, my parents, like because my dog is like this, like the wild of them all. We see Trevor Lanes. That's good.
Hey, what do you think about prenups? That's over. That's too late for us. I didn't do a prenup. No. I'll tell you what. I said this to my boy Phil years ago. I said, if my wife wanted to really jack me, I go, it's over already. That's the one person that could jack me. But the only way my marriage fucks up, honest to God. I mean, I've been broke. I've had money, kids, no kids, job, no job. Like nothing has phased the relationship. The only thing that could fuck up my relationship is infidelity. That's it. That's the only thing that could fuck it up. And I don't even know if that would work either, because my wife's a good woman. So, and why I'm saying that is that's the extreme to me. That's a betrayal of all betrayals. So
I don't know how long you've been with your wife. But like me and my wife go back like before we were together. Like we came up together. You know what I mean? So it's like we were in these like the streets together. Like we grew up in these streets together. So it's like I've known my wife like, you know what I mean? Like it's life. You know what I mean? Like I said, we came up together. Her sister's my best friend. Her brother, like her brother's best man. Like that. Her family was family before we got married. You know what I mean? So it's like it's unbreakable. It's like unbreakable. Like when you talk about like that, those people that were like put on the earth for each other, like that's literally me and my wife. So it's like there's like nothing. Like there's literally nothing. So it's just that's my best friend. That's my ride or die. That's what's Bonnie and Clyde. It's whatever. She'll lay someone down for me. She got to. You know what I mean? Like she'll let it fly. You met my wife. She you know what I mean? Like she down. So she's with whatever it is. You know what I mean? So like if when you find someone that really is on you, like there's no reason to ever test that or jeopardize that. There's nothing better out there for you because when you have that, what else are you looking for? So I'm a very, very family oriented person. You know what I mean? And it's because I didn't have my family around a lot when I was coming up. So it's like now that I have it, like I cherish it more. You know, like I said, I've told this a lot on my show. I'm the son of a truck driver, the grandson of a truck driver, the nephew, the cousin, all this of a truck driver, right? I'm the only one in my family that didn't drive a truck. These motherfuckers was always gone.
But you still got in the car business.
I'm in the car business, yeah. But you know what I mean? But I did. But the funny thing was, even how I ended up in the car business, it was like on some Final Destination shit because I didn't want to. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't my plan. I tell the story all the time. Like everyone that I'm close with that work, like everyone, they know this story so many times because it's like I didn't even intend to go there. I took the interview as a favor to the recruiter. Like I wasn't even trying to do it, you know? But shit happens, you know what I mean? And it ended up, and it's been very fruitful and very promising, you know, and very prosperous. And it worked out, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just kind of the same thing. I had no vision of being in the industry at all. And here I am. But I can't drive a truck like them. No way. No way, no how. I can't do it. But there's this joke around my family, and it's always like the first time in my family, they threw you in a car, you unloaded the trailer, you helped, you did all the work when you were young, and then you grew up and you drove a truck. And with me, it was very, very early when they realized I didn't have it. And there's a saying that they always joke with me about. They're like, the boy ain't got it. The boy ain't got it. Because these dudes had what Kobe Bryant was gifted with in basketball, what Shohei Ohtani was gifted with in baseball. The men in my family was gifted with the best form of depth perception that you will ever find in your life. To the point that Elon Musk himself bought the company that my dad and his brothers worked out just to get them, because they turned them Tesla down. They turned Tesla down. They didn't want to go work for them. So Elon bought the company. to get them. And their depth perception is, I'm talking no backup camera, no sensors beeping, like what they can do with the truck and put it in and out of places, I didn't get. I don't have it. You know what I mean? I just don't have it. But I got I got different skills that they don't have, but I was the one that didn't have what any of them had. I was kind of the outcast. I was different. I also, went to school, and it's so it was like, it was different. So I didn't I didn't have what they had. And my pops and my uncles, what they could do with a truck is crazy. It's crazy how they can fit these things in places. And I could barely, like, if not for like the 17 cameras on my Tesla, how the hell am I fitting in here? Like it's but what they can do is crazy. So I'm so,
when it comes to trailers, Jeff, I learned an early lesson way long ago. Just when you're looking in the camera, when you're looking at the rearview mirror, because even though there's a camera, I still trust my eyes better.
Yeah.
Just do the reverse. Now, it's easier said than done, but after a while, your body gets used to it. And by the way, the longer the trailer, the easier it is, believe it or not. I'm just,
my pops told me the same thing, but it's like I don't have great depth perception. I don't have it. And so, like, my sister don't have it either. So it's like when my pops can, like, move anything. And so it's like, even like, you've been in my pops car, like they got a pilot, right? It's like way bigger than mine. Like, even getting in his truck, like, this shit's huge. I'm like, good Lord. But I could drive that. But like an 18-wheeler, I the first time they tried, I flew off they had my grandmother's car on the truck. They were trying to set it up with that. I ended up going off the truck in the wrong direction in the street up the block. Like, I was 13, man. It was a whole hot mess.
Come on, man. You're 13. No one's going to do it right.
No, but man, the dudes in my family learned to drive at 12, 13.
Yeah, but it's different. It's still
There's
different.
Two things you did at 13 in my family. You learned Jack Daniels and you learned how to drive.
Damn, you were drinking a Jack Daniels at 13?
Oh, yeah, 13, easy. I was doing a lot at 13, 14.
I got Cuervo at 17. That was the first.
I was active.
Family trip in Puerto Vallarta. I drank. My dad, I remember my dad, he was so happy when I told him, there's been a couple of guys from Stockton. We're hanging out drinking Cuervo. I didn't tell him about the Cuervo part because I was still always respectful of my parents, and I didn't want to ever cuss in front of them or tell them I was drinking. But I remember I said, I just met somebody from Stockton. Oh, that's great. Yeah, go have fun. I ended up making out with a hot blonde that night too. Totally would have went. I was too stupid at 17 in the middle of Mexico to know what I was going to do. But she was nice. But anyways, Rocky's been asking these good questions. So Jeff doesn't have kids yet.
So here's the thing. I don't have kids, but I've raised a good amount of my life.
Okay, so let's talk first. Telltale signs that your kid is on the wrong path. I don't know if I can answer this question because my kids haven't shown that yet, but I will say this, and Jeff will probably confirm this. I have cousins that went on the wrong path. Cousins that could have been my kids. The first path is usually it's appearance. And appearance is looked on in any generation, any time in life. If you go back, I'm just going to go to recent history. Like, guys that grew their hair out in the 60s were looked at as hippies. Guys that were in the 70s, kind of the same way. 80s had banana shorts and shit like that. That'll tend to do stuff. Grunge in the 90s. If you dressed like a fucking hip hop star in the 90s, you're always wearing oversized jerseys and fucking pants down to your fucking ankles. Like, that's usually the first sign. And of course, the parent is always going to sound like he's outdated or she's outdated if they see that starting to fester. I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't give a fuck who it is, what culture it is, what social aspect, what social whatever is going on. If I see your dumb ass putting your shorts down and I see your underwear, you're a fucking idiot. I don't give a fuck what style it is. If I see your fucking underwear behind you, You're a fucking idiot, and you're going to hear me say you're a fucking idiot. Now, when I grew up, there were 3 things my dad absolutely hated more than anything on this planet. Number 1, hated earrings. If you wore an earring, you took it in the ass. If that bothers you, sorry, it is what it is. Number 2, hated fucking tattoos. If you were a tattoo to my dad, you were a criminal, or you were going to be a criminal at some point. Now, that one was always kind of like, no one was really putting tattoos in the 90s when I was growing up. Okay, I get that. I don't really want a tattoo anyways. The one that killed me, though, was the motorcycle. That one was more practical. And I begged my dad. I go, Dad, I want to get a Harley in the future. Can I plead? No. Mind you, it didn't matter if I was 12, 15, 18, 25. I still listened to my dad before he passed, of course. So, and I still listen to him even though he's gone now. I begged him. I said, can I do it like in a parking lot? He goes, no, I already know friends that died in the parking lot. I said, fuck. So the ultimate sign of a good child is, will they honor their parents? Now, here's the problem with this too, is what if your parents suck? And believe me, I've unfortunately seen one of my good friends' parents who sucked, and he's not here anymore. And I know it's a cop-out to blame them for it, but they didn't give him a good start. And this wasn't parents that were born in Southeast Asia or South Central LA. Like, this was a privileged family. White bread as white bread can be, all the fucking advantages you can have. And my buddy went down that hill slowly. I mean, he steadied when we were in high school and shit like that. But as soon as life started to get more stressful, you just saw him go down. No coping skills, no adjustment skills, nothing. And he's not here anymore because he needed substances to take that stuff out of his head, and it eventually got him. So you talked about your wife, the way you talked about your wife. Let me tell you this. When you're picking your wife as a grown-ass man, that's the beginning. If you want any shot, and it doesn't mean you have to have kids. I have plenty of friends that are not married and not have kids, and they're great people. But I'm just going to tell you my story. You're going to have kids in the future, and I was going to get married, and I was going to have kids, and I was going to have the white picket fence, all that shit. I had that shit planned way before. It's the only thing I ever really planned in my life because I wanted that in my life. And that shit, you can't fuck around. You can't just improvise. That's a different beast. I got married in 08, bought a house in 09, had my first kid at 2010. That's the only time I've ever scheduled shit. Okay? Why? Because of the results of now. I have 2 teenage daughters. Every motherfucker out there for the last decade has been warning me about this. And I would laugh. I'm like, what are they going to fucking turn into? Fucking Satan? Like, as soon as that clock goes to 13? Like, what is this? What are you guys talking about? I go, I have a soon-to-be 16-year-old. Not once has she ever uttered a single aggressive mouth towards me. My youngest one, she's a little bit more of a spitfire. My oldest one, kind of like her mom, kind of too cool for school, whatever. She still hasn't mouthed out to me. Not once. So what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Can you adapt? Because they're 2 different personalities too. It's not like, oh, well, Joe, it's the same house. No. I'm completely different than my sister. My oldest and the youngest are completely different. And I'll tell you how. My oldest one has to put in the work to get her A's. The youngest one, she barely puts in any effort. They're different. Same household, same mom, same dad, but they're different. Life is different for them, right? So how do you adjust? Well, as a parent, you got to be adjustable. If you aren't about raising children, I highly recommend you do not have children. This is it for you. I don't get stressed over my kids other than their safety. That's it. And I'm always on alert. And I used to guilt trip my kids when they were young, going and staying with their friends. They do it now still, but when they were younger, a little bit more vulnerable. But I would tell my oldest, I'd be like, baby, you need something, you let me know. You got to call me right away. You got to make sure I know. Because if anything happens to you, daddy's going to go kill somebody. And then daddy's going to be in jail. And daddy doesn't give a shit about jail as long as you're alive. So they've known, and again, this may sound like bullshit. It's not. Look, if somebody says they're going to die for their children, you don't think they're going to go to jail for them? I've gotten that talk so many times. I said, if anybody gets near my kid in any aggressive way in terms of harm, you will get fucking skinned alive in front of everyone and everything. I will not hesitate. And I've never hurt anybody like that. I've never killed anybody. But I can guarantee you this, I will destroy your being if you get anywhere near my kids. Do not hurt my kids. I will fucking destroy everything about you, even if it means 20 years in the can. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. When your kids maybe don't hear it in that way, but they hear it in a more PG way, what do you think the girls are going to do? What do girls need in their life? Protection. They need to know their pops is there. They may not sit there and hang out with dad. No, absolutely not. I'm boring. I've asked them how many times to come with me to work. Oh, daddy, I don't want to go to work. You're boring. Your work is boring. Okay. But you know what? They're always laughing upstairs. Every fucking night they're laughing with their friends, talking to mom. So in the end, watch their appearance. They start to look raggedy, dirty. That's the first sign. And of course, watch their friends too. Usually their friends are...
Yeah, I was about to say the company is usually one of my first signs.
Fear is... My children have a respect fear. They're not scared of me in a sense of they're worried about... They're not like that. I didn't want them to have that anxiety either. That was something I really, really kind of cut very early, because there was an early situation where I was being too disciplined, and I took it too far with the scare tactics. I didn't hit my kids, of course, but it really hurt me. Like I fucked up, and I was like, oh, I can't do this again, ever again. Never gonna happen again, right? Too much was too much at that point, because my youngest, was frozen. Like, she was so scared. You could visibly see her like just in a complete like fight or flight mode, whatever they call that. And I stopped it. Like right away, I clicked. I go, no, I can't do this. No more, ever again. Respect fear comes from your actions. If you're a jerk off at home, you're going to raise jerk off kids. Now, in some cases, the jerk off parent can get a kid that will probably maybe not be you, but more often than not, they will be you. And that's my experience. Do you guys believe in that saying, you're a sum of who you surround yourself with? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've known Jeff for 2 years. Jeff, you heard me last year. I told you I trust you more than I've trusted maybe 500 people that I've met in my life, that I've known for more than 2 years or a year at that point. We know how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any friends that are fucking jerk offs. I don't. I mean, maybe one guy, but he's not really a jerk off. He's just he's ADHD, worst ADHD I've ever seen on a human being. But he was a heroin kid. His parents are cool. His brother's cool. His kids are cool. He's just messed up. That stuff fucked him up. So he and I hang out every now and then, and it is what it is. But other than that, no. I dealing with bullshit is just not something that you should deal with. You should be able to cut that off as a grown ass adult. Did you think we were going to do Tony Robbins shit tonight?
I didn't see this.
Joe Spit Take.
I didn't see this covered. And probably because it's probably a good thing, because I'm probably too fucked up to talk sports.
You still fucked up?
It's coming down now. It's
okay, here's a good one. Sports, thank you for the question. Have sports ever pulled you out of a tough time? This is for you.
So
this is last year for Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff. Answer the question.
No, this is way beyond last year. But yeah, so sports saved my life. Like, what you guys got to understand, sports saved my life. As a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult, and these last couple of years, these Dodger championships have gotten me through some of the roughest roughest times of my life. From my wife's. Yeah, I was kind of cryptic. I didn't talk about it a lot. But my wife's parents are kind of up there, and it has been a very, very rough couple of years. And it wasn't just them. I had some things on my side too with my family, and it was like our world was literally collapsing at the same time of the Dodgers Padres series last year. And when they lost that game 3, that was like the only thing, that was the only rope I was holding on to at that point. Like everything around me was literally on fire. Like it was, well, literally, like just some shit I wouldn't wish on anybody. Like it was just a bunch. We all have bad luck. We all have bad things happen to us. What we were going through, it's just like the levee all broke at once. It was just like, could not catch a break. It was just like endless. And me being who I am, I'm the one that holds everyone up, keeps everyone together. I'm the, I'm that one that that keeps everyone going and just holds it all together, right? So it was really hard for me to hold it all together, and because I knew there was a lot of people depending on me and counting on me and relying on me and looking up to me, and like the Dodgers were like my thing to take my mind so hard, all that off of what I was dealing with. It was like my emotional escape. And I told this story all the time. I remember this. I was in this room that I'm in right now, and outside this room is a back living room. And this back living room used to be the backyard of the house. And the back steps that come out of the kitchen, they're now steps that lead to my back living room, not the backyard, right? It's added on over here. And in the 9th inning of that game, I'm over there sitting on, I was texting Joe that game, actually. We're texting back and forth. I'm sitting on those steps over there. My wife's at the hospital. Like, it was my kind of like break time to get away. I'm over here trying to take my mind off, watch this Dodger game. Because I had spent like probably 12 hours at the hospital that day. And I'm sitting on the steps, and the game was playing on this computer over here. And on the TV, the TV I got in here. And I'm listening to the steps across the room. I'm hearing them get that third out. I'm just sitting on them steps like, it's over, man. It's over. And I got no escape right now to get me through this. And the only thing I had was the Dodgers at that point, right? So that's why it was so. Joe always tells me I'm too positive. I'm too positive. Like I always see the good. I don't ever see the negative. And that was one of those times where I was like, this is over. Like it's done. And because I believed it was. And there were a lot of times I felt that way this year too. But I just remember sitting there, and it was like just all over. And I'm thinking it's done. And that was something in my life that I really needed at that point to get through what I was going through. It may sound weird to some because it's just sports, but that was my escape. That was my remedy. And the next game was a bullpen game, and I figured it was all she wrote. We all did. And I remember I'm at the hospital all day the next day, and same thing. I remember I was in the waiting room, and I had my phone, and Brazier started that game. And he comes out, and he got the job done early, and the guys came in, and it was like, and then the offense just went ballistic in that game. And I'm like, holy, like, because I knew we had Yamamoto and guy. I was a little nervous about Darvish because we just Shohei and those dudes just couldn't hit him. But I immediately went from it is over to like, we got this, and when we win this series, that's the World Series. And it was just one of those things where it was like sports lifted me back up. And Joe can co-sign this for both years because it happened again this year. I was in an ICU waiting room this year. Joe was literally giving me play-by-play of game 1 of the Philly series because I couldn't watch it. My signal was so bad. I had cellular signal, so my text would work, but my internet signal in the hospital was cut off. So I could get text, but I couldn't watch the game. I could look at the pitch by pitch, the box score, but I couldn't watch the game. And so Joe's literally giving me pitch by pitch. And I just remember him telling me, like, I think Chris had messaged me too when Teo hit that when Teo hit the homer. And I didn't see it. I couldn't see it live. And Joe's literally giving me play by play. He's telling me what's going on. And it was like one of those things where I just remember where it's like sports, you just feel like you're in it together. You know what I mean? Like me and Joe aren't playing in the game, right? We're not in it. You know what I mean? But it feels like we are. It felt like we were. And Joe telling me what was happening in this game, it took me back like to the old days when I would listen to it on the radio with my grandpa. You know what I mean? I'm just sitting here, he just giving me these updates and giving me these updates. And yeah, I remember him telling me, okay, when Teo got that, and then he told me that, you know, when Glasnow was coming in, and then it was what, Vesia, and then it came to Roki. And when Roki came in, and I remember telling Joe, like, what do these pitches look like? Just tell me, because I'm a pitcher guy. And I'm always like, what do the pitches look like? And I was like, does it look like he's missing, or does it look like a pitch from the devil? Because, like, if he's got pitch from the devil shit, then we're in great hands. And Roki got it done. He did his thing, and both those years, and coincidentally, I was talking to Joe during both of those times, and those were 2 times. I'm going a little long here. I apologize, but those 2 times.
There's no time limit here, bud.
Yeah, those were the 2 times where sports really, as an adult, like at this point in my life, was. If the Dodgers don't win the World Series the last 2 years, I don't even know where my mental health is at because of all the things I was dealing with, right? But before even that, man. You know, I jacked up my knee really bad in my senior year of high school. I was never great. Like, I was never a great player. I wasn't going anywhere with it. I wasn't going to college. I wasn't going to make, you know, professional team. But when I lost my ability to play my senior year, I sat on the bench and watched a lot. And I learned a lot. And I had a really good coach. And we had a really good coaches in our section, our division at the time. And I learned a lot of how to coach while being injured and being on the bench. And I was always a really good teammate. I was always one of the smartest guys on my team. I was a massive shit talker, still am. But going to coach youth sports was an accident for me. It was not something I planned, but it got me off the street. It kept me out of jail, and it kept me alive. It also gave me, for the first time in my life, something to lose. I had all these kids from broken homes, a lot of single mothers, or they live with their grandmothers, and I took these kids, a lot of Latinos, and I built this program that to this day is still a thing. Like, we're still connected for life. And sports saved my life in so many ways. Not as an athlete, because I never was really an athlete, but coaching, mentoring, teaching, using basketball to teach life, getting kids into college. They now coach. Some of them coach some of the big programs in LA. Some of them are assistants in college. Some of them played college ball. Some went to the NBA. And, you know, my point guard on my travel ball team, I say this all the time, was DJ Gay, was a Valley legend, and he was Kawhi's point guard at San Diego State. And if you go and you watch that game against UConn, when Kemba was getting busy and those other guys kind of disappeared, the guy who hit those 3 threes in that game to make it a game was my guy. That was my guy. This is my guy who broke Gail Goodridge's record at Poly High. He scored 55 points on a Friday night that went to the Pierce College Classic the next game and scored 57 the next night. He got busy. He national level. You had Ben Howland. You had Tim Floyd. Whoever was coaching North Carolina at the time, whoever was coaching Kansas, I remember all 4 of them, front row, Pierce College to watch
Hubert
DJ
Davis,
my guy.
Roy Williams.
Yeah, they watched my guy. And now he's a top basketball coach in LA. He runs a great program. He didn't have the height to be in the NBA. You know, he got some workouts. He did this, but anyone that came up through the Valley came through my programs. Now, if you're talking about the All-Star games, the AAU, the ARC teams, I'm talking to Jordan Farmars, the Nick Youngs, the Spencer Dinwiddies. I'm talking about like all them dudes who came up around my way, I had. And so being able to work around these kids, and if you get caught, you know, they fingerprint you. So if you you catch a bid, you can't coach. And I had these two incredible people that changed my life forever. They go by the name of Chip and Cookie, and they ended up being my backups on my guy team, on my men's team, but they were female. One was my backup 2 guard, and one was my backup point guard. Chip went to Bama, and Cookie is Lola Bunny in Space Jam 2. Was throwing lobs to LeBron James all summer. And our basketball community is very big. And one thing I can kind of, because I've kind of hit on this a lot, is Mookie's off-season training is my basketball people. So like that, so it's like there's a lot of, to this day, that stepping onto that sideline to coach basketball changed my life forever. It taught me how to run a team. It taught me how to run a business. It taught me how to stay honest with myself. It taught me how to, have honor and respect for everything. Because I was a fucking shit show. All my boys that I was rolling with at the time, dead, jail, whatever, like it got me out the street. And that's how sports saved my life. And the Dodgers, these last 2 years, I needed it again. And they delivered, because they didn't win for me. But what I'm saying is, like, I needed that more than almost anything in my life. And so that's why I'm always like, Joel tell me all the time, like, you're so patient, like, because they got me through some dark shit. They really did. And it's not that they're not above reproach, and it's not that I can't criticize them, but I appreciate, because we could have lost, and I could have been there with nothing to like help me get through this dark path I was in. And then that's what sports has always been to me. I've had dark sports moments. I'm sure you have, Joe, too. But I've never, that's why I think I told you this one. I don't think I've ever wanted a championship more than I wanted the one this year. I don't think I needed one more than I needed it this year. And they delivered. And it was my remedy. And we got through it. They're home. There's still a long road to get through what we got to get through, but we're not at the hospital every night, which is a blessing. I'm not sleeping on an ICU floor, which is in and of itself a mess. But the Dodgers got me through that chapter. Joe was part of that ride. Joe talked to me. I was talking to him every night during that process. There's a lot of people on my pages who, when I was doing videos, they picked up that the videos I was doing was outside a hospital. Like, you at a hospital? Is everything okay? Like I wasn't intentionally trying to, I was talking sports. I wasn't, but it just, sports has a way of providing us, a release from our lives. And that's why it hurts so bad when we lose, is because and I do say we, because we are part of Dodgers Nation. We are part of Lakers Nation. There is a we all the time, money, commitment. We all spend, we're all in it together. Right. So when the ship goes down, it hurts. But when they reach the top, there's no better feeling. And that's what it was for me this year. And sports has always saved my life. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys on the screen right now if it wasn't for sports. It just wouldn't have happened. I'd be dead or in jail for sure, because I wasn't no good. I'd be dead or in jail if not for it, for sure.
I used to talk to one of my other friends about, this was years ago, about how do people not watch sports? And you look at people's lives, and this is another thing for you guys to analyze when you're around people. What are you doing all day? Okay, so you go to work, you're a spouse, maybe you're a father, a mother, whatever. And then you go on a couple of vacations. Okay. What do you do all day? And why do you take this so seriously? It's not you playing. It's fixed. It's they're millionaires. They don't give a shit about you. It's like, you don't get into the details on this too much because it's wasted air. They've already made up their minds on what it is. In the end, I can't play Major League Baseball. I can't play in the NFL. I wanted to play in the NFL my entire life until my body said, Joe, you can't. And it sucked. So what do you do when you still have that competitive juice in there? How do you get that out? What am I going to do? Go play golf? Yeah, I'll play golf. But can I play all day, every day? I mean, sure, I could, but I can't drop $100 a day and go play golf. Am I going to then? But then I'm going to want to go play golf, right? Like running a marathon. Oh, I'm going to go run a 5K. To me, my brain doesn't operate like that. If I'm going to do anything competitively, I want to win. So I can't go on the PGA. I'm not good enough. I can't go surf because I'm not good enough. I can't. And I'm not saying I'm not going to do those things, but it's not going to be, I'm not going to be invested in it as much, even though I'm doing it. What sports does is it gives us that ability. And this is probably why I focused on the pros more, because it's the highest level, because I want to see the best. My mentality is I want to see the greatest thing in this thing. And it's going to be in the professional ranks, no matter how good college is, no matter how good minor leagues are, whatever. So I want to see greatness. Why was the Dodgers setup so stressful, especially this year, to the point where I was pissed at myself? Why is my chest caving in for a fucking baseball game?
Yeah.
I didn't watch game 6 until late. I couldn't. I watched game 3, every minute of game 3.
That's what
every fucking minute of game 3 I watched. Not a fucking single pitch that I missed that game. I was on everything that game. Usually I'll go to the bathroom and I'll miss a pitch here. Nothing. I was sitting on my fucking thing. If I went to the bathroom, it was during the commercial break, because there was a lot of activity. It was actually a good game until it wasn't for my chest. Mm-hmm. Until after Shohei tied it up, because Schneider took that last chance, thank God, because if he had walked Shohei, we lose that game. And that's the funny thing about all that discussion, Jeff, is I'm sitting there and it's like you get these two different stories from everyone, the fucking moron and the fucking idiot, right? Oh, why didn't you walk him? You stupid fuck. Every time you walk him, you're causing more stress on the team. If you let him hit, he strikes out sometimes. Like, it's easy to say shit 3 innings later, oh, you should have done this. You don't know what the fuck is going to happen. You don't. Anyways. Shohei ties it up. And then from then, it was basically, 3.5 hours of feeling like I was in hell.
Yeah, because nothing happened.
Freddie hits a home run. During that time, you and I were talking a lot on this too. I just want this game to end. I don't give a fuck what happens. I really believe. I really meant it. Yeah. I really meant it. I wanted that game over. I was tired. Not sleepy tired. I was tired of the mentally tired. Every fucking 5 seconds. I'm like I was really like contemplating whether I was fucking just a fucking mentally challenged at that point. Like, really grown ass 47-year-old fucking adult with children and trying to be a role model, and this is what I am, sitting here over a fucking baseball game. Stressing over a fucking baseball game, giving myself probably taking away like a month of life because of this shit. What the fuck is wrong with me? But then Freddie hits a game winner in the 18th inning. And I always attribute it to the same comparison. By the way, for public school people, I used to say analogy. You know who corrected me on that, Jeff? You know who corrected me coming home and told me the difference between using the word comparison and analogy? My fucking kid. I didn't even know that shit. I have a college degree. Anyways, so props to the public school system, by the way. Anyways, so he hits the home run. Why do we love sports? Because for the next 4 hours, what do you think I was doing, Jeff? Think about that for a second. The game ended what? At midnight? Almost midnight? Yeah. 4 hours later, I'm still watching Sports Center, MLB Network, Sportsnet.
But if they lost, it's all shut off.
If they had lost, I wouldn't have watched that game for
ever.
Yeah. Right. So then the euphoria is back, and guess what? Dodgers get their ass kicked the next 2 games at home. I thought for sure they were going to win one of those. I didn't think they were going to win both. Because Toronto was good. But I for sure didn't think they were going to get blown out for the next 2 games at home. I thought they were going to win one and then lose one, and then they'd have to close it out in Toronto in 6. Shit. As soon as they got blown out in 4 and 5, I was like, fuck this. I can't do it anymore. I can't. I was swallowing it just like you were at the hospital. I was swallowing on my phone. I saw 1, 2, 3 runs. Okay. And then, at least my chest wasn't fucking caving in, right? Like I check in every now and then. And then finally I started watching, I think right around 6th inning. And then we saw what happened. I was at a party, by the way. I was at a Halloween party. They were playing the game. And then I watched on my phone because I got so pissed off at when Teo got the out on the bases loaded. I screamed, and there was like 20 people there that I'd never met in my life, and they fucking got scared. Right? Not the first time I've done that, by the way. Yeah. So finally, I went on my phone. I walked down the street. I watched Kike's catch. And Rojas is double playing on my phone, walking away from.
I was nervous. I had left. They had a big ass like inflatable projector screen, and a projector out it was like a 90-foot screen. It had in the front yard for Halloween, so anyone who's trick or treating can watch the game.
Yeah.
And I just I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't. And I remember I came inside, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch it on my phone because that's been a good luck. So I go in. I'm in my room in the dark because my wife had to leave because something whatever with what we were like dealing with.
Yeah.
She had to leave, and so I'm in my room by myself in the dark, and I just hear my whole block start screaming because they're all outside watching on this big screen, and I knew what had just happened with the ball getting stuck, and you had that one play where they got the line out to second. Okay, in my mind, there's no way they get out of this inning without at least a tie, right? To me, there's no way that happens.
For sure.
And I didn't necessarily, okay, maybe it's not over, but their chance to win it has just shrunken immensely because they got all the momentum. They're tying this game. Like, there's no way. And I hear everyone's reaction when he hit it. And it went from, like to utter celebration. I'm like, there's no double play here. There's second and third. Like, I'm like, so in my mind, I don't know what's happening yet. Cause I'm like when they won game 7, I'm like, okay, I'm saying you need a double play. You need double play. They got the double play, right? Like, there was almost no way to get a double play here. So when I heard the craziness, that wasn't a 1-out celebration because I heard the 1-out celebration when it was the line out to second or the pop up to second. When I heard them go crazy, I just immediately thought, it's a double play, but I don't know how they got it. It's a double play. And I go and I look at my phone, and my phone is like game over, but it doesn't tell me who won yet. End of 9. It just says end of 9. And I'm like, you motherfucker. And I'm like, end of 9? What the fuck? And
I'm
like,
score?
No, it didn't show the score. It just said end of 9. And then everyone's going crazy. So I figured the Dodgers won, but when I saw the play, when you go back and you replay in your mind, or you watch these replays, or you watch all this stuff, when you watch that play that Kike made, which was great, because him running into the lights, seeing the ball come out of the lights, overrunning it, running a bad route, and that's what almost cost us game 7 because he did the same thing. But Pa has bailed him out. Now, maybe he catches it, maybe he doesn't. We don't know. But he was too shallow. And he was trying to do the same thing in game 7 that he did in game 6, and it almost burned us. Mm-hmm. But what Kike did was a little bit of luck. What Rojas did was pure skill. Being able to get that ball because he got to the bag early I've watched that play so many times, and I still don't know how he made the play.
His momentum was
but he got there too early.
Just like the throw to home, right? Like his body wasn't really right.
No, it wasn't
but
right.
But then he went like this.
He contorted. But when he scooped it from behind his thigh, that's all hearing the ball hit the dirt and years and years and years of knowing where to play. Because if he fumbles that ball, that was not a well-thrown ball. He gets there, he plants, he fields it, and his celebration, there was no doubt. When he started celebrating, it felt like that was the play. When I knew, I've told you this numerous times, when I knew we were back in it is when I saw Dave fall down. When Dave took the header, running the bases, and the Halloween trick-or-treating with the kids in the hotel, I knew that team was going to be ready to play. I knew they were not done. Like I wasn't going to say, okay, they're winning it, but that's when I knew, okay, this team's not done. They're not done. So, that play that Miggy made, the bare hand play earlier in that game that doesn't get talked about. That's 2 plays in one game. You have the home run, and then you have that play at second base. And when he kind of leans over and takes that breath, and then Yamamoto was like, holy. And Yamamoto was on his knees. Did you see that replay where he was on his knees when that ball was in the air for Kike and Pajes?
Yeah.
And
because he didn't know if it was going out.
Yeah. And then you have where Mookie's celebrating on the throw. Like he already knew it was over because it's Freddie over there. This is caught. And it was a maple stuffed turkey.
That one was crazy. That one was, I saw that late. I saw that
I was a second they hit it to short. I ran straight to my pops. I mean, we just won the World Series. And no way Mookie fucks that up. No way. And I'm like, it was so poetic. And everyone knows Mookie's my favorite player. And I backed him up all year. And I kept saying, you can hate him all you want. This is the guy I want over. I just give me Mookie Betts. Give me Mookie Betts in money time. Just give him to me. He'll figure it out. The guy that everyone screamed to move off of short, the guy that no one wanted on short, if he's not on short right there, who knows what happens? And not to say that, not to say that Edmund wouldn't have made the play, not to say that Ross, but I'm just, the ball goes to him. He just completely says, get the fuck out the way, Kim. I'm not throwing you this ball. And that play was not routine, Joe. No. When you go back and watch that play.
Thrown against your body?
Thrown against your body with a guy sliding in, and he fucking dotted it.
I mean, it was he would have had a strike 3 if that was a pitch.
He dotted it. And I'm just like.
And he was nervous the whole time.
Yeah, I'm like, my man, my guy, Mookie fucking Betts.
He was celebrating. There's a shot. I didn't see it until a month later where they followed him through.
Yeah.
It was the first time I saw the shot. He threw the ball, and before that ball hit Freddie's bag or glove, he was already throwing his hat and his gloves in the air.
Ball head Mookie, when you see Mookie's head,
that is crazy. The action shots in those 2 games. First of all, Rojas's fist pump. That's Drip. If you're listening, I know you are. Dude, we got to do something about. There's a few of Rojas's like fist bumps that are just perfect, right? Props to the ump, by the way. His out move was fucking perfect too.
Mm-hmm.
John Sally said this when they were interviewing about Kobe. He said that he loved Kobe because he loved his game. He said Kobe's game was always beautiful. Like when you say somebody's beautiful, you know they're beautiful. His game is elegant. The way his footwork was, the way his fadeaway was. And I'm not saying Michael Jordan wasn't pretty. Michael Jordan was a beautiful player too. But Kobe had to be extra because he didn't have that 6th gear that Jordan had. Jordan had an athleticism on him that unfortunately Kobe didn't have.
And the size of the hands.
The size of the hands and everything, right? Imagine Jordan, I bet, is probably technically 6'5", maybe even 6'4.5" without shoes, right? So we're talking about a freak of all freaks. That's just facts of that, right?
Kobe always said if he had Jordan's hands, like his size, because the way he could palm a basketball.
Yeah, if he had Jordan's hands, I think he would have been more efficient in his career. So not only did we get these 1 in a million chance games, 1 in a million chance plays, you got the button on everything that looked beautiful. Mookie celebrating, Rojas celebrating. The way Yamamoto did this, and Will picked him up at the right time, and his hair's going like this. Like, it really was a series, and it's obviously more special because it's the Dodgers, you notice it more, but it was really central casting at its finest in terms of just a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah.
Everything was beautiful in the end.
Perfect.
And props to Yamamoto because he put the perfect, and this is what's amazing. This is what's amazing about baseball. He threw an amazing curve to Clement, and Clement hit it. But if that thing was an inch higher, that ball would have been gone.
Yeah.
That ball would have been gone. Inches. This World Series should be known as the series of inches.
Because the Will Smith one and the tail one in Game 3. I thought both those were gone. So many balls died that night.
Yeah. And even Friedman talked about that in an interview with, there's that really smoking hot chick that's now going to be a media person. What's her name? Katie Wu.
Oh yeah, she's becoming the Cardinals. Yeah,
she left the Cardinals. Now she's with the Dodgers.
She's with the what you call.
Oh my God! I saw her do an interview about a month ago. I never even know who she was. I didn't know who she was.
She's solid.
Oh my God! I was like, God damn, who is this?
I think she's with the Athletic. I think.
I don't know who I don't know who she was with, but she knew everything, and her delivery was awesome. And I'm just sitting there like, is that what we're gonna have now? Really?
She's solid.
So. Sorry, guys. I know I'm a married man, and I'll get to this here in a minute because that was kind of a segue into the next question by Rocky here. I do look at the menu, and my wife knows this. I love women. I like beauty. I'm like Valentino, by the way. God rest his soul. He passed away recently. So I'm gonna go with Rocky's question here before we start. I was gonna do a 3-hour show tonight, so we're kind of getting there. Jeff, if you need to leave, please don't.
Yeah,
hesitate.
I'm gonna go on a few. I gotta get up.
But Jeff, I'll try to, because this kind of pertains to both of us here because obviously we're married. Jeff and the Ox, how did you know your wife was the one? I think you probably answered this already, but if you want to, continue to answer, it's up to you. When you were dating them, what was it?
So for me, it was just like I said, we came up together, and it was one of those things where, like, there was no other women I could have married or been with that would have had what I had with her. And it was. I don't want to use. I guess maybe the word is perfect. There is no perfect marriage. We're both very, very headstrong. We're both very tough. Both very mouthy. But you've been around me and my wife. We talk shit to each other in like kind of like how you and I like. There's no disrespect or there's no feeling offended, no matter what happens. My wife would come up there and do something like, "What the hell?" She goes, "What you dumb fuck? How the fuck you just do that?" I'm like, I don't know what the hell just happened. There's no like. She just, I'm the man. You can't call me like to me, and I'll be like this bitch. Like we do that like all the time. Like it's like she's my best friend. She's so much more than a wife. She just happens to be my wife, and there's no way I'm at this place in my life without her. There's no way that I've achieved what I've achieved without her. There's nothing I've tried, Joe. There's absolutely nothing that I've tried that she didn't back me up on. even if she may not have like liked all of it, or she may have like, look, maybe this is a big risk financially, whatever. It don't matter. Because she knows I did the math. She knows I did the work. She knows I thought it through. She knows I planned it out. If it goes wrong, it's just because I missed something. It wasn't for a lack of, preparation. And just backing me up on everything. And like, we don't fight in public. So it's like, if there's something we catch, something we don't like, something did, we're like, oh, we'll pick this up later, right? But we don't embarrass each other. We don't talk about each other to other people. We don't do any of that. And she's just like, everything that I lack, she has. So it's like she makes me almost like a perfect human, because what I don't have and I can't do myself, she can. So, and vice versa. And that's what it really was for me. It's just it was like the perfect Lego. You know what I mean? It was just like the pieces just fit. We came up together. We both came from a place that didn't lead to a lot of hope, and made something, and we got out of it together. And that's kind of what it was. We just came up together, and that's what it was. And we made it through, and without falling apart. And that's what it is.
Balance. Balance is probably obviously the looks are very important to me.
Looks are important to anybody. For anybody, don't let anyone tell you different.
I'm a very so I would say when people were talking about asses and tits and legs and all that, yes, those play a part in this, but face was always my thing. I saw one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life at a Macy's counter. It's before I was married, obviously. I was with somebody though. And she didn't even have long hair. Usually women kind of with long hair is my thing too. But she had one of those short bob hairs. And she was working the Macy's makeup counter. And, Macy's makeup counter always smells good and always has the girls in the pantsuits, which is what she was wearing. And I remember I was just kind of like walking through to get to the main mall, because usually the Macy's and all that stuff are usually the entrance in, right? I looked and holy shit. And she wasn't like model figured, which is usually what I go after, or like dancer, athletic type look. She was kind of heavy set, not fat, just heavy set. She had the most gorgeous face, I think, at top 3 I've ever seen. And I had to go back without, again, kind of getting caught. I was just like, holy shit. Because I had to go back and look at did I see it wrong, or what the fuck did I just look at? I went back the second time. I was like, holy shit, if I wasn't with somebody. Even though it's not my style in terms of the thickness, I was like, 100% I would have went over and said, listen, I don't know what to say here, but please tell me you're single. As far as knowing knowing who to pick, knowing the right one, I unfortunately had a bad scenario in my picking. People can't find one. I had 2, and I had to pick one in the end. And it sucked because one was going to have to get hurt. And I probably would still be married to the other one if I had chose her. And that's life. The moral of the story is some people meet their true love, some don't. Some, in my cases, meet 2 at the same time. Some meet none. I being a sports guy, I always equate it to, there's Phillip Rivers people out there, and then there's Tom Brady's out there. And then in between, you have Ben Roethlisberger or Eli Manning. You either have way too much or nothing at all or a little bit. And that's kind of how that is. And in the end, again, I wasn't going to make a bad choice. I wasn't going to make the wrong decision, because I don't make wrong decisions when it comes to important shit. I just never have. And I didn't grow up in a bad environment. I mean, the normal parent bickering and all that shit. And the usual BS with families and all that stuff. But there's no way I can go back and say, oh, I grew up pretty damn good. I had good things around me, way more than I had anything bad. And maybe I was lucky. Maybe I was sheltered at the right moment or whatever. My tenacity and my aggressiveness is purely hereditary. If I had grown up in a bad environment, there's no doubt I would have been more ferocious. So the balance between growing up in a nice environment, growing up around a safer area, good public school, that balanced me out, because I do have, and maybe I'm full of shit in this scenario, but I do have sociopathic tendencies. I can feel it sometimes.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, because there was a moment there where I would hear stories about kids being hurt, children being hurt, and there was a moment for a while where I wanted to commit murder. Like, the feeling was there. So, and I've never done anything like that, but it's there. It manifests itself. And I try to maybe get some validation by talking to other people about it. And people are, more often than not, rely on the law, rely on the justice system. I can't do that. I couldn't. I see these parents who their kids get hurt and they're in the courtroom and then they're celebrating when the person who hurt their kid or killed their kid is serving his time. I wouldn't be able to be in that courtroom. I would have flipped everything in that place upside down, and no one would have been able to stop me. I would have unleashed the 4 horsemen of apocalypse on everything around me. And maybe that's why God is, thank God, maybe he's kept me from having anything like that. I mean, my parents are gone, which is damaged me. It's still damaged that they're gone. My mom died young, and my dad died young, and my dad died with a lot of guilt, and it's scarred me. But in the end, I do have a common sense mindset of, well, in the end, that's the normal route it has to go. The parents have to go first before the child, right? So now my only objective in life right now is to protect my kids, last long enough to where I can feel comfortable, because I don't have a son. I know it's old school thinking, but that's just how it is, guys. I don't know how to explain it. But if I can have them pick their man, and it's a right man, which I believe 100% they will pick the right man based off of Freudian's thoughts, and they're gonna try to find someone like their dad, then, at that point, then I can relax a little bit and enjoy my life. So part of that, all that is factored into the picking the right partner, because my wife, if I have to put it easy for everybody, my wife is the kind of person that if I became a quadriplegic, she'd be like Christopher Reeve's wife. She'd be there every second of the day trying to help me. And you can't put a price on that. So let's see here. Jeff, if you need to go, please.
Yeah. I'm gonna, I gotta take.
So Jeff, this is Empire Jeff, folks. Again, if you want to watch, Empire Jeff is a pretty unique name. All you gotta do is put it into any of the social media platforms. Obviously, YouTube. I highly recommend watching his shows. He's very informative, very balanced, and you're gonna get quality from everything. Even when he's talking shit to trolls, he can still feel the professionalism with him. And then I got to go in there and fuck it up.
I've been tapping him a little more than usual, right? I've been unloading a little bit more, but yeah, for the most part, I try to keep it. So I appreciate that. And yeah, we got to do. I know our schedules don't always line up. I love to come up here and do this more often. Like I said, today was able.
Well, I'm wrapping up the show a little bit more. This is a unique year coming, dude. We lived this in 2002, 2001, 2002. We talk about the greatest era of our fandom. My God, I I think about the 2001 year, and I go, the Lakers in meaningful games for 41 games. It's just nuts. They had only lost 2 games. So they went 23-1 to finish the 2001 season. And then they started the first 17 games of 2001 and 2002, 16-1. We saw as Laker fans in almost a 10-month span. I know there's a break in there, but in a 10-month span, we saw 2 losses in 41 games.
Dominance.
Now, you said something about we got 2/3 here, 2/3 here, or 1/3 there, however you phrased it. What's going to happen if the Dodgers go 3 for 3 this year to get a three-peat? That means the pitching is good, the bullpen is good, and the hitting is good. You're fucked. Because if that indeed does happen, they're going to win 110 games, and they're probably going to lose maybe 1 or 2 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think this year is going to be. I feel like last year was the year to get him, and they didn't get got. So I feel like, and not to take anything away from 2002 and the Lakers three-peat, but I feel like once they beat Sacramento, it was over. No one really. I remember being out in the streets in 2000 and 2001, and it was a circus. The people in the streets, the people out there, it was wild. In 2002, when they won it, no one even went outside. This three-peat's going to be different. This is going to be different. This one's going to, I'm not going to say the three-peat didn't matter because that'd be blasphemy. But what I'm saying is, I feel like the Lakers, they expected it. It didn't, I don't know. It was just weird. Like I said, I was out. It kind of had lost its, like a little bit.
I know there are a lot of trolls out there. I know there are a lot of just dumb fans, but everyone and their mother knew this was different. Okay. New Jersey was not. New Jersey wouldn't have made it probably out of the second round, maybe even the first round in the West at that point.
Yeah. So when they beat Sacramento, I was at that game 7 in Sacramento. when they beat Sacramento in overtime at that freaking rinky-dink gas station arena, which was horrible. They've won the championship that night. That Sunday was lit. Everyone was wilding out that Sunday. But when they won the championship, again, I'm not going to say it didn't matter because a three-peat is massive. But it did not feel like 2000 and 2001. And that was the three-peat year. And it didn't feel like the first 2.
I loved it.
I did too. But what I'm saying is the city didn't react to it the same as
absolutely
in 2000.
No, you're right. You're right. But I understand. Look, I think at this point in our life, especially with you being a Giants fan too, especially in football, you've seen. Do you remember 1990? Do you remember Super Bowl 25? Okay, so
yes,
you saw. No. Okay, you saw 2 of. You don't need to see anymore if you didn't.
That was the Hostetler year.
What was that? Yeah, that was Hostetler.
Yeah, I did.
And I was in the car when I heard Norwood's kick go right.
Yeah,
I remember that like yesterday.
I was with my grandpa, but I wasn't a football fan then yet. I wasn't a football fan yet. I was baseball. Baseball was my first love. I was baseball. I was starting to kind of get a grasp of sports. I was Magic Johnson. At the end, I didn't get to see the Showtime era. I saw the end of Magic Johnson. And I have vague memories of '88. I remember the Mets series and moments of the A series, but I can't tell you much about. One of my biggest regrets is not watching that oral season, right? And not being old enough to remember or that whole thing. But I do remember that because I do remember the Hostetler. Like I vaguely because of my grandpa, but I was yet to be a football fan.
I'm 47. I'm going to be 48 in March.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that was right around that time where my brain was starting to develop. And
yeah. So mine was not quite. It was like 91 when it really started to like Lakers Bulls 91. Not the basketball season of 91. And then what was the year that the Twins and the Braves? What year was that?
91.
So yeah, so 91 was like my entry into the I'm aware of the sports world. It was 91. And and then what happened to Magic, which questioned me because I had a uncle who was dying of AIDS at the time. And so when Magic announced his, who was my hero, and I had my uncle dealing with what he's dealing with, and it was a weird like time. There was a lot of people in my community that had it, so it was like that coming into sports, and then coming into that. There's a whole story of 91 in my life, and then the riots and all like that stretch of sports in that time. But 91 was my entry into the sports world, like of a understanding what is going on perspective. Prior to that, I can tell you they won what years, and because you watch replays and you're a student or the history of the game. But as far as sitting there and saying that I could watch an entire game beginning to end with knowing what was going on, 91. Anything before 91, I was watching, but I couldn't grasp everything. 91 was my year.
88 was baseball for me. Football was 89, and then the NBA was 91. Even though I was sort of in it before then, but that was when I was invested and I was understanding and I was a fan. And 91, I've only broken down outside family and friends for 2 Lakers. Just 2 Lakers. I felt sick for a while when Dale Earnhardt died. James Gandolfini died, but I didn't break down. Robin Williams, even John Candy, obviously. But Kobe and Magic, I remember Magic when he announced it. I was devastated.
Yeah.
I was in a depression
we thought he was going to die
for 13. Yeah. And it becomes even more impactful when you watch. I mean, I can't get my eyes off Jerry Buss when he had that. When I look at footage from till now, when I look at footage of that press conference and just looking at Jerry Buss, that's how I felt. And this is why I haven't had I haven't had any energy to shit on Doc Rivers since Kobe died.
Because of what he that day
when he broke down,
he said we're all
and
Lakers
his voice cracked. I remember telling everybody on the show when we were doing LFB later. I said when his voice cracked it was at the same time where I felt like my heart was cracking. So it was like there was a synergy there. I can't criticize Doc Rivers anymore. I can't, because I connected with it. And I can't get it out of my head, like until to this day I can't, because that looked like a father who lost his son when he cracked. And when you identify with something like that, because I've told this to my kids, again, I've held it over their head, and it's a joke in terms of probably what they think. But if anything happens to my kids, my wife knows this, my sister knows this, my friends know this, I will not survive. I go, that's my lifeline. I existed before my kids were born, but if anything happens to them, it's like pulling the plug on me. It's over. Like, I will not make it. And that time, that was man, it was brutal. It really was, because I saw Arthur Ashe die. I saw Freddie Mercury die. And I know AIDS and HIV were different, but we still, Man, I didn't find out till recently, man. He was this close to getting full-blown AIDS, too. Like, they caught it just in time.
Yeah.
So
it's a world of difference. HIV and full-blown are two different things.
And then, of course, you know, Magic just kept staying alive, and then Eazy-E was dying, and I thought Raul Julia had AIDS, too, but it was just cancer. But I was kind of sad about that, too.
The Eazy-E one was crazy because no one even knew. And then he didn't know. And then until he was in the hospital. And we knew it was just a matter of days from us finding out that he died. And it was it
wasn't good. It's you know, when Robin Williams died, I remember there was a quote, there was a post somewhere, and I remember responding to it. I said, we didn't know him personally, but he was. I know movie stars and actors and musicians are you know, there's more negative coming out of there because of their political things. Usually, that's usually what it is, right? I said the reason why actors and musicians are so revered or such like on a pedestal is they're the balance in your life sometimes, much like how we watch sports. Now, I don't worship any players. There's really only been 2 players that I considered my favorite player. And that was really when I was a younger kid. Like, it was Magic and it was Mike Piazza. That's it. I've never had a favorite player. Like, as I got older, I didn't have a favorite player. I didn't register it like that. Like, as I got older, I was a team focused guy, right? Magic, Mike Piazza. When I was a kid, when I was in junior high, Mike Piazza. I remember my dad and I I still remember this like yesterday. We kept calling him Pizza, and then he kept hitting home runs. Hitting home runs, and I'm like, I don't think we should be calling him Pizza anymore. This is Piazza, man. Piazza's where did this guy come from? And there was a moment because of that. Dipshit Fox trades him, and I remember this like yesterday. I got a text message. It wasn't a text message. It was actually a voicemail from my cousin. And he told me Piazza just got traded for Eisenreich, Charles Johnson, Gary Sheffield, and whatever the fuck it was that was beyond that. And I remember my stomach, my heart dropping when I heard that on this voicemail.
Fucking Eisenreich always fucking killed us.
Yeah. And I do remember there was about a year or 2 where I kind of didn't like the Dodgers anymore. I was fucking furious. And then the Mets went to the World Series in 2000. I was fucking even more furious.
Piazza and Clemens.
Yeah. So, and again, I knew why Clemens was throwing the bat at him, because Piazza was fucking him up every time he pitched. Like, he could not get past. Like, Piazza owned Clemens. But anyways, yeah. We've been here long enough, right? In terms of the fandom, 30 plus years for all our teams. We're invested. Our time is invested in. Dude, this is the first time. 2025 was the first year that I watched every game in baseball. Every game, even every spring training game. And man, was it worth it. So again, everyone, this is Empire Jeff. Again, follow him on all the social media outlets, YouTube, all that thing. Empire Jeff. Jeff, I'll let you know when we do another show later, and we'll collaborate again.
Got you. Appreciate y'all, man. I'll catch you guys.
Take care, brother. Take care, brother. Have a good night.
You too.
Later. All right, gentlemen. I'm going to get to your guys' comments here. Sorry if I'm behind a little bit, but I'll get to it. Let's see here. Where are we? If Jeff love the Empire starts talking talk. Was fortunate enough to have coach. Good. Fire. Okay, I'm going to start with Gregory's Fire Rob. I already said that's funny. I think we're going to have to wait till the end of the year for that, though. Bigger Dodger or Laker fan, Jeff? I think they're even. If I had to speak for Jeff, I should have asked him that question before he left. But that's like asking what's your favorite kid, at least for me. Rocky, I knew after first hour he or she was it, and that's a good thing. That's good. BC, if Pelinka can't put together a roster that can get past the first round for 3 straight years with 2 superstars. He should be fired. Honestly, BC, I don't know if he's going to get fired from the GM position, but I am pretty sure that player personnel duties are going to change no matter what happens, unless they win a championship. I've been involved in sports all my life. I love sports as part of my lifestyle. Yes, sir. I agree with that. If Rob can't trade expiring contracts, he definitely needs to go. Again, like I said, Greg, I think he's going to go anyways. Expiring contracts have most value during the season. You can't. The way the new CBA is, I don't know what is going to be the next big thing. I have no idea. Draft picks are going to be. Notice even the trade today. Did you really see a lot of heavy draft picks being traded? What was it? A couple second rounders? I think the third team that was involved in the Cleveland Sacramento thing. I gotta look at that because I didn't get that info until I got on the show. Chatting on Gerald's stream during the late innings of Game 3 was some of the most intense. Yeah, man. Game 3 was just that one took me out of the whole series. Honestly, if I had to be straight. Aox, good to see you, Jeremy. Thanks for being here, man. That's right. You can barely watch from nerves. You're watching Yoka. I'm gonna watch. I got to start watching them here after the show's over. I'm gonna get to all your guys' comments and then I'll start watching. Kershaw getting out of the 12th, still really happy for him. Yeah, man, that was a hell of a way to end his career, man. Thank God he had it for the big games in there. Empire Jeff, thank you, man. Appreciate that, Drip. Let's see. I remember Joe early in the series. You said it was worst World Series, and when they won, it was a great. Yeah, I wish. So here's my next step in this. I'm gonna try to enjoy, because this was so taxing. I think it conditioned me to not ever feel as worse as I did this time. So this time I'm going to, for the future, I think I'm going to be okay and just kind of enjoying the run more. I can relate to Joe. That game killed me on Stiller. Took you to you're a real fan. That's why, man, the extra innings game aged my, yeah, it aged us all. I'll deal with that stress as long as it's a W at the end. No doubt. Yeah, the Max home run was the I always say when he hit the made for October sign, when he hit the home run off Savage, that was foreshadowing. That was foreshadowing for what was to come. I think that was a beautiful thing. Willie Davis once said, "It's not my life, it's not my wife. So who cares after a bitter defeat?" That is true. El Rosto, yep. I remember Joe saying it. It was great seeing him go from despair to Joe. I was so disappointed when Betts didn't get on base before Max home run because I felt it was coming. That would have made things a little easier for sure. Maybe the Rojas home run puts us in a win column for in regulation. But in the end, I think it's okay. I think it turned out all right for us. Hey, Gregor, how you doing, man? Before the beginning of the season, let's rewatch the Game 7 experiment. I'll tell Jeff. We'll see if we can plan that up. We'll plan that out. I don't know what the copyright situations on that is, but I'll figure it out. That series took a lot out of me. Yes, it did. Really, Roast. I was rooting for the Dodgers for him as a Giants. Oh well, Giants fans. I don't know what to tell Giants fans these days, man. They're in kind of that weird place. I don't know. I don't know what the Giants gonna do. Kike also didn't follow the card too. Yeah. But man, God, that guy is the Robert Horry of the Dodgers, man. Dave was right to move him down the lineup. Smith hit everything Dave did in terms of his instinct and his needing to adjust worked. And there's no luck in that. That was pure skill and experience. Has Freeman been teaching anything to Rob? I don't know. That's a good question, too. Let's see. Where are we here? Go Dodgers. Daniel, good to see you, brother. David Vassier, yeah. David is an interesting personality. He has an irritating way of delivering things, but also people love him for it. Can you all please do a collab show once a month? Your fans need this. Drip, tell Jeff that. I think he knows that already, but I'll make sure we do a show at least once a month. I'll try to do something maybe twice a month. I'll talk to him. Love the collab. First time here. Again, Rocky, we appreciate you being here. Any questions you need, of course, you can ask at any time. I'm putting on more shows. Again, I only started this thing last March, and I've been doing it maybe once every week, once every 2 weeks, because I do co-host another show called The Lakers Fast Break with my good friend Gerald Glassford. So I am starting to do a little bit more activity here. I'm starting to kind of build the the production value a little bit. But again, our schedules outside this is sometimes gets in the way. But I'm trying to do more shows so we can get more content out there for you guys. Let's see, where are we here? Thanks for that, Gregory. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks, Gregory. Thank you again. Thank you for all the well wishes, guys. Empire Jeff got to come down to DC. Let's attend. This is all going to happen hopefully soon when this becomes a living, right? With your guys' help, if you guys blow this sucker up, man, believe me, I'd be more than happy to travel and see you guys. I think we have some ugly coming in the next few games. Let's see. Matter of fact, tickets. Let's see. Down to earth. Yes, sir. How many free throws did the Lakers get in the fourth of the game 6? I think it was 41, if I remember. 41 free throws. I think they got 26 in the fourth. Kings had almost 20 more free throws than the Lakers. Well, so when I talk about that series, obviously I don't have it on air here, but Game 5 was one of the worst officiated games I'd ever seen before Game 6. So much so, if you guys go back and watch the last second shot by Kobe in Game 5, you'll see Bobby Jackson literally pull out Kobe's entire jersey out of his shorts with no foul call. Something to think about. And there was plenty of bad calls in that whole game too. 91 was tough as Lakers fan, knowing was passing the torch. Yeah, man, especially after Sam Perkins hit that three to go up 1-0. And then, of course, Byron Scott and James Worthy were hurt in that series. So we never got a chance to see if that series would have gone a different way with a more healthy team. So it was 27, huh? 27 free throws. Okay, 27. I thought it was 26. You know who gave Magic AIDS, drugs of people? Yeah, I mean, that's Magic was pretty promiscuous. I'd say he did it to himself with some bad decisions, but who knows? I wonder if other fans wanted to shut down the NBA when the Bulls and Lakers street-peated. No, they didn't, because there was a salary cap in 1985 that started in the NBA, and dynasties in basketball actually make the league more popular. There won't be a 27 season of the Dodgers street-peat. I don't know if I believe that. I think that might, if at worst case, it might be it might go from 162 to maybe 100 if they go into the season. But I have a strong feeling that the lockout won't last as long, because I think the owners know the players are not going to agree to a salary cap. And then at that point, it's trying to figure everything else out. Are they going to make it more difficult for larger signings with a higher luxury tax? Is it going to be more revenue sharing? I think ultimately that's what it's going to probably be. What was Doc Rivers' role at the time? Are we talking about 2020? Jeff got up to 3 to watch in 2024. That was for the beginning of the year, right? Magic went on a big-time weightlifting and exercise program. Yeah. You know, again, he had the money to get the right medication and the right stuff. But again, I have friends that still think that he doesn't have it. No problem, Rocky. Anytime, brother. I got 47, almost 48 years of life experience. I can help you out with any of that. And again, I'm not a life coach, and I'm not here to inspire people. But if you ask me a question, I'll answer it the best I can. I know, Gregory. Believe me, it's going to happen, dude. Don't worry. If Rob does stay in some capacity, it'll be just as a figurehead. But I don't think that's even going to last. At some point, Mark Walter and the Guggenheims are going to completely fleece everything out and bring their own people. Last shortened season, the Dodgers won the World Series. So what I want to happen is I want this lockout to go into, let's say, through May. And then they'll make a 100-game season. Dodgers will four-peat. And then everybody will bitch about the shortened season. I will love for that to happen in a four-peat. Same will happen again if a lockout happens four-peat. Yeah, again, and that would help the Dodgers. It would give them a little bit more rest. So go ahead, lockout for a few months. Hell, even halfway through. Hell, even if they want to do another 60-game season. Dodgers did very well in 2020. They were way over 700 in terms of the win column. So if we want to, if you want them to four-peat easier, go ahead and have the lockout. So that's that. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Again, great questions. Hopefully we answered everything with some good entertainment and some good information as well. The regulars, the new people, again, for the new people, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We'll be doing more shows and talking more Lakers, Dodgers, and I do a Steelers show as well. I'm a big Steelers fan, and of course, a lot of times we'll do all sports, all details. We try to work with whatever kind of comes to us. Again, that's why it's called The Experiment. So until then, I want you to have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good evening. And until next time, I'll see you next time.